Ladies and gentlemen, hailing from Cleveland, Ohio, I give you BVO.
Oh, we boxing? Yeah, we boxing. I need that belt like it ain't no other option. So we punching and weaving and blocking. Defeat ain't an option. Let them know, shoot a video, put it on BVO. Let them know, every time I punch, it's a heavy blow. BVO, bound to hit like bricks cause it was set in stone. Let them know, I ain't getting body, but I'ma hit this flow. Yeah, way more than a show, this is BVO.
On behalf of BVO Boxing TV, we would like to thank our sponsor, Raycon. Don't forget to grab your Raycon Everyday Earbuds, the perfect bass model for premium sound, with active noise cancellation to block out distractions and transparency mode to keep you aware of your surroundings. They're ideal for your everyday needs. Just visit rayconglobal.com. That's rayconglobal.com and elevate your listening experience.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy BVO Sports TV, and we finally got him in the house, man. They say he don't hang out with the blacks, but he came through today. We
That's
got the
crazy.
legendary boxing Hall of Famer, man, Ishe Smith. What's going on, man?
Oh, brother, you on mute.
Yeah, what's up, man? How y'all doing, man?
We
Man,
doing
salute to you,
good,
brother.
man. Glad we can run into you, man.
Good, man. I'm good, man. Alive and healthy, and my kids are healthy, so I'm blessed, man. Everybody's doing good.
That's a blessing to hear that, man. So let's get right into it, man. So growing up in Vegas, man, what was it like growing up in Vegas, man?
Man, I mean, it's a 24-hour city, so you had the best of both worlds, the good and the bad, especially being an athlete. You could go late at night. You could just stay out all night, get something to eat, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, chill with your friends. But when you're trying to be a world class athlete, that's a lot of people when they would come out here for camps and stuff, or they would sign with management and stuff like that. I seen Vegas swallow up a lot of fighters, man. Over the years, a lot of them would get swallowed up from just the lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. Being
So
so, being fast paced. So did you grow with your mom and dad, or just grow with your mom, or just your dad?
just
How did you
mom,
grow up?
just moms, man. I never met my father. Never knew what he looked like, who he was, or anything. He left me at a young age. So I grew up with a single mom who had 2 kids, and made ends meet to make sure that me and her were taken care of, and that was a good thing, man. Everything I learned as far as being a man, I had to learn on the fly.
So speaking of that, when you was growing up, did you ever feel like, you know what, man? I feel like this isn't how I wanted to be. Is that what made you want to get into boxing, or what was it like that made you get into boxing? That's a tough sport.
Well, when I was younger, I was small for my age, so I got bullied, quite a bit in elementary school. And my mom had a friend who was into boxing. He trained fighters at Golden Gloves Gym here, where all the pros would hang at. I'm talking about if you name them, they were there, in the 80s and 90s. Any Hall of Fame fighter you can think of that came up in that time from the 80s to the late 90s trained at Golden Gloves Gym. And so he started working with me in my house and teaching me just how to protect myself. And then from that point, uh, he started taking me to the gym, and I started learning more and meeting like great fighters like Trinidad and Azuma Nelson and Terry Norris and Riddick Bowe, just all these great fighters. And that's when I kind of just started falling in love with the sport. just seeing all those great fighters, and then I would see them in person and then see them fight on TV. So it was pretty cool, man.
So how old were you when you first started boxing?
When I first started working out in my house, I was 8. I was 8 years old. And when I first, probably a few years after that, a couple of years after that, I had my first fight. My trainer was like a Mr. Miyagi type guy, like wax on, wax off. I see these trainers now. My trainer used to
Hmm.
always tell me, you don't play boxing.
Hmm.
So everything was stages with him. Everything was, learn how to walk. Learn how to your foots. He would just make me do that over and over. I would just be I remember just being in my mom's room and just going forward and backward. Hey, you're not diagonal enough, and you got to keep that you got to stay on that back toe. Got to stay on that back toe. Forward, backward, forward. It was just so boring and so repetition over. I mean, for like 2 years, that's really like a year and a half, 2 years. That's all it was, just learning how to do everything in the ring. Like at the time it was boring, but then once I really got into the gym and I started going to the gym and seeing like other kids, and then I sparred for the first time, I realized what he was doing. So I compare him to like Mr. Miyagi, because that's exactly how it was, man. I was in my mom's room just straight doing just the bare minimum basic stuff. I see these trainers now, they'll be training a kid, and within a couple weeks they already got the kid sparring. I'm like, whoa, like this ain't that kind of sport, man. It's not like
Yeah.
playing basketball or playing football, man. You really got to perfect your craft before you. I would never train a kid. It would take me a while to unleash him and put him in there to spar. And then I would try to find somebody more so on his level as well, his or her level. But yeah, man, it's crazy what I see nowadays with these trainers, man.
So boxing, man, it's not really like a sport that you see in the school. So how did your friends kind of react to you being a boxer, man? Because it's not like saying, "Oh, I play on a football team, I'm on a baseball team, basketball team." You like, "No, I box." What was it like when the kids heard you talk about that you that you box?
Well, it was crazy because when you're young, maybe more so growing up in the era I grew up in, we didn't. It wasn't the day and age of social media. So when
Hmm.
you said you boxed, it was just kind of like whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like you wasn't in the in crowd. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like a boxing is a year round sport. I was winning like state tournament after state tournament, regional after regional. I placed second in the USA Nationals. I went to the Golden Gloves. I won a couple other little tournaments. I got a bronze medal in the Junior Olympics. Nobody heard about that, man, because it's not. Back in those days, it wasn't as mainstream as now. You can kind of promote yourself on social media. You know what I'm saying? You
Hmm.
could promote yourself, put your own videos out, so it wasn't that kind of love. I think in the boxing community, everybody knew who I was. Like
Hmm.
everybody knew, okay, if you knew the kid from Vegas, okay, yeah, that kid can fight. And it's vice versa. Like in the amateurs, everybody knew who Zab Judah was.
Hmm.
Everybody knew Fernando Vargas. That was my class. Everybody knew David Reed. You'd be like, man, David Reed can go. It was just everybody knew Tarver because he was winning everything. But when you start transitioning to outside of that circle, it was hard for us to be known like not they are now. Then now you could, like I said, you could promote yourself. So the love really didn't come till after, like when you turn pro and they see you on TV, and they get to later see you like, whoa, I went to school with that kid. And especially when I was on the Contender, that just blew me up far as notoriety. But it's a good and bad thing at the same time. Like I say, the kids got it made nowadays because they can promote themselves. They can promote themselves, man. They can just
Yeah.
promote themselves.
So speaking of that, what was it like when you first started wanting to have your mom and sister? What was it? Why did they treat you any different? Did you get a little more love when they seen you? Because to make it to where you were, man, I was looking at you as an amateur. you were like the golden child. So what was it like at home? Did you kind of get that same love at home, or?
Um, being in a single mom household, so it was cool, you know what I'm saying? But I still it was it was tough because my class, it was so many. If you just look at, the names and just so many world champions came out of that class that didn't even make the Olympic team. Like I said, you had Tarver, you had Floyd Mayweather, you had Zab Judah, you had me, you had David Diaz. It was just so many fighters, man. And I know I'm probably forget David Reed, Chop Chop. He was in my class. Diego Corrales was also in that '96 class. So it was just a battle every day, and the love. I mean, my family was very supportive. At home they were very supportive of what I was trying to accomplish, but just having to go out and fight Zab one night and then turn around and fight Chop Chop another night,
Mhm.
then turn around and fight David Diaz. All those guys became world champions. So
Right.
I mean, I mean that was it wasn't by no means. The '96 class definitely was one. I think it was the last great class far as the amateur side goes for American fighters. It was the last. I think there's been other great amateurs that came along after that class, but far as just a class that produced a lot of world champions and some future Hall of Famers, and obviously one of the best that he can even argue. Floyd Mayweather can even say I'm one of the best to ever do it. I mean, that class produced a lot of great fighters, man. A lot.
Yeah, because when you think about '96, I remember '96 because Michael Johnson was in the Atlanta Olympics with the gold shoes on, and that's why I remember. But that whole '96 time, I think about the draft. Kobe who was dating the girl from Moesha. I remember
Hmm.
I was excited about that too. But so speaking about '96, so when you found out that you had a chance to go pro, what did it feel like? Did you know that you were going to make money, or you just were still doing it because you loved it?
Well, after the trials, I lost to Zab in the semi. I was 2 fights away from the Olympic team,
Hmm.
and I lost to Zab by 4 points um, in the semifinals. So I only had like 2 fights, and I always thought Zab was the better and tougher fighter than David Diaz. I always felt if I could get past Zab, David Diaz just kind of catered to my style. He's just straightforward, nothing. Zab was slick, he was flashy. I to this day don't know how Zab was not able. I think he had fought him 2 times and he just could not beat David Diaz. And that always baffled me. So I was one of the youngest in the trials in '96. So
Hmm.
after '96, I took 2 years off, man, because I had just completely dedicated my life to boxing, and it was all about the Olympic trials. It was that was I mean making the Olympics. That's
Hmm.
all it was about. And I hadn't done anything. I hadn't been a kid. I hadn't gone to parties. I hadn't really messed with no girls or anything. And I was like, man, I'm gonna take a break, man. Plus, I was hurt. I was depressed a little bit because when you have that childhood dream your whole life and it doesn't come to fruition, the first thing I was not thinking about was turning pro. I was just like, damn, man. And it was over. Then I was watching those guys go to the Olympics and turn pro as well. So I was just like, man, I'm gonna take a break. And that's what I did. I took 2 years off and kind of got all that nonsense that I wasn't able to do while I was fighting out of my system. So that benefited me a lot when I finally did turn pro in 2000. But I had went and fought amateur like 2 years later. I fought in a few amateur fights and tournaments, and then I was just like, they was coming up on the 2000 trials, and I was just like, man, I'm not going through this shit again. I'm about to turn pro. I was like, I'm not going through another trial, man. I'm good, man. I'm good, bro.
So speaking of that, and then I'm gonna bring my brother right side in. I salute to my brother Prize. So now I was gonna ask you this, man. When you were a kid and you miss it so much in your life, because anytime you want to go pro, People don't realize that you really miss a lot of your life. What did you? Was it hard for you to have meaningful friendships working like you did in boxing?
Absolutely. I mean, you got the friends that support you and want to see you well do well, and then you got the friend. Obviously, you got the friends that hate on you and that you think is friends. Then you got the females that they don't think you nothing. But when you finally do start ascending and rising up, and people know you, then you popping with everybody. You popping with the girls, you popping with everybody. So you got to be very careful of that environment and that atmosphere. Fortunately for me, I just had a straight when I turned pro. I was with my ex-wife at now, but I was with my girl, and right when I had like my second, I think it was going into my second fight, maybe she going into my second or third fight, we found out she was pregnant with my first son. So everything just kind of happened and kept me grounded. So it was just, but I would encourage anybody, man, to just, boxing is a hard sport, man. Just make sure you have the right people around your circle. Sometimes even no people is better than some people. You know what I'm saying?
And speaking of that, right before I bring Dub, I want to ask you this question. I'm gonna let Dub get a quick few questions about your actual career. When you are a person who's from a big city like Vegas, and then you become into some success, was it kind of hard to maneuver like you being the kid from here and not getting caught into like the women, the access to like because even if you don't have money, when people know you're gonna be somebody, they'll give you stuff. Did you kind of have a hard time with that figuring out like what I should take, what should not take? Because you don't want to owe nobody. I used to always feel like I don't want to owe nobody when I was
Well,
playing football.
it was a time, probably when I was fighting, it was good. I was able to kind of navigate, and then when I started having some issues like with promoters, and I was having issues with the contender people, I had more downtime because I was going into a lot of legal stuff, trying to get out of contracts and break contracts and stuff like that. So I was able to, link up with some people, and hang out a little bit more, NBA players and stuff like that. And that right there, not I never was into drugs or nothing like that, but that right there is like, come on in, you don't have to pay and that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
that was, that was a crazy scene, especially like just the women. You got to be very careful because the women will literally just any type of power. One thing I would say, and it's not all women, but it's a majority, it's a lot of them. They are attracted to power and success. That's
Hmm.
what they're attracted to. My dog's acting up. Somebody must have came here, but yeah, they're attracted to power and success. So, that's what and I dealt with that. I had my demons where I dealt with that for a little bit, but I didn't deal with it for long. I didn't deal with it for long. I was always on the straight and narrow, trying to keep my mental and everything focused on what I wanted to accomplish.
So
Go ahead,
I
right
got
side.
I gotta ask the question, and I gotta give you credit. First things first, I gotta give you all the credit in the world because you were one of the when you were active. Oh, let me. You were
Yeah, I'm
one of
here.
those. You were one of those guys. You would fight anybody. You know what I'm saying? You wasn't ducking no wreck. I compare you, and I say this respectful. I compare you to Sean Porter. Um, y'all wasn't ducking no smoke. You know what I'm saying? You fought all the top guys at 54. Uh, um, while you were in the division, who is, in your opinion, who is your toughest competition? You know what I'm saying? Which guy you? Same way we watched Canelo come out and say, "I just couldn't figure out Bud Crawford. I just couldn't figure him out." Who was that guy for you, or did you have a guy that you just couldn't quite
Um,
figure out?
Probably my second title shot. I would say probably Lara was the toughest opponent that I had. Not really like power wise, it's just his mental. his mental and boxing ability wise, he was very good at doing what he was able to do better than I can figure him out. He knew what he wanted to do, and it was just I couldn't figure him out. You know, I it's like we had no game. We had a plan A, but then once we start going to plan B, when plan A wasn't working, we didn't have the other plans. I felt like, and it was like just a one dimensional fight, and I just that was the only time I felt like, damn, dog, I just could not do anything tonight. Like he got the better, and it wasn't like he didn't hurt me. He didn't do nothing spectacular. It probably wasn't like just this spectacular fight because I thought the Julian Williams fight was a lot more exciting, and it was
That was a hell of a fight. That was a hell of
yeah.
a fight.
I think I've had other exciting fights, especially late in my career. But he was just better at doing what he does, and I couldn't figure him out. So I would have to say it was him by far. I felt the most defeated when I fought him. Like I didn't feel defeated when I fought Vanes Rosen,
But it wasn't.
and that was the first time I got knocked down. I felt like, damn, dog, if it wasn't for them knockdowns, because the fight was so close, I was like, damn, if it wasn't for them fucking knockdowns or the knockdown. And when I fought, even Tony Harrison late in my career, those guys were big, and I was just like, man, just a couple more rounds changed. But the Lara fight was the first fight I said, shit, man, he got me tonight. He was better. That motherfucker can go. He was better at doing what I could. I couldn't figure him out.
I
Did he
still think.
run?
Hold on. Well, you out of
Oh,
order,
my bad.
BBO. You out of order. You come back. But I still think that he beat Canelo as well. Me personally,
No, he
that's
did
my
not.
opinion.
He
All
I
right.
ran.
don't. I watched that fight, and I
What you?
just. I think I may have seen. If I recall, I think I was there live. I cannot remember if I was. I think I went and saw that fight. It was either that fight or Trout. I went and saw live. I know he fought him in Texas, so it might have been Trout. But I didn't think he. I didn't think he threw enough punches. I think he made him miss, but I just you know, I didn't think he threw enough. I thought he was very good defensively. I thought Canelo pressed the action and made it more of a fight. And I thought Canelo made it a fight and showed he wanted it more than Lara wanted it. And I thought if Lara buckled down, and that was the using leg Lara.
Yeah.
And once his legs went, he started semi
See?
using his legs.
But he
And
sit down on stuff now. He
and
sit
he
down on.
sits down. Yeah, he sits down. And I thought if he did that with Canelo, he would have clearly won. And I just didn't think he sat down enough in that fight. I thought it was a good fight, but I thought Canelo edged him out.
I thought it was
He ch-
close, but I had Laura winning that fight. I want to ask one more question before BBO jump in here.
Ah,
Well, you out of order as always,
I'm sorry.
but
Let me be quiet. I'm
That
sorry.
was
I'm out
crazy.
of order.
but
I'm
I
out of
wanted
order.
to ask this. I thought that you gave a great performance with Tony Harrison.
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm a big fan of Tony Harrison. I think that man he can box his ass off like you could box your ass off. I thought that was a hell of a boxing match. I thought the judges had it a little. It was a little wide in that fight, in my personal opinion. With don't get me don't get me started on the judges. I don't want to do that. But in that fight, what did you see? Because I thought you had a lot of success in that fight. What did you see with Tony Harrison for you to have the success that you were having in that fight?
I just used to, especially guys like Harrison and guys like J Rock as well. They get in this situation where they may think one thing about me, and they had this perception, and then once they get in the ring with me, the perception changes. So I always would look at tape. Sometimes I look at tape, sometimes I wouldn't, and I would just always try to execute my game plan. And I think I had it. I had brought in a sparring partner. I can't remember the guy's name. I think he was from Detroit. He was either, I may have brought him in or he was in town, and he was helping me for one of my fights. And then he was like, man, he was like, motherfuckers was telling me I was just gonna come here and I was gonna be I was just gonna be walking through you, and that's not the case at all, bro. He was like, I don't know what the fuck they was talking about, man. He said he was like, man, you some really good work, and I don't know where that perception came. Maybe it came early in my career, but people tend to forget, like when I was getting called to go to all those camps, bro, I wasn't going up there to be no sparring partner. I was
You weren't
going.
going to get beat on, huh?
No, man, I never. I, I
Mm-hmm.
have I have way more pride than that, bro. So
Facts.
I didn't give a fuck about no check. I didn't care if I got sent home. When I went to Vargas camp, I was there to beat his ass. When I went to Vernon Forest camp, I was there to beat his ass. When I went to Shane Mosley
Mm-hmm.
camp, I was there to beat his ass. It was when Chad Dawson called me, like, yo, help me out. I was there to beat his ass. When I spar Hop, I was there to beat. Like, I didn't
You was there.
show up.
You was there to fight.
Yeah, I was there to fight, bro. And then especially like younger in my career, like them De La Hoyas and them Shane and them Vargas camps, I felt like really I was fighting for respect because here
Mm-hmm.
I am, went to the 96 Olympic trials, 2 fights away from the Olympic team, and everybody knows me from that 96 class. And I had my career, I had to start off like a fucking video game. I'm fighting on little low level show. I'm making $100, I'm making $1,000 for 4 rounds. And I'm looking at my peers like cashing out. And I'm like,
Yeah.
whoa. And I'm just like, so for me, it was a way to make money in those camps, but also and provide for my family. But it was also for me to gain respect, and that's what I went. So I never saw. I didn't know where that narrative came from because when motherfuckers needed good work, I wasn't calling to go to camps. They was calling me.
Told you.
Like Vernon called me like, yo, get Ishe Smith up here. I need
Mm-hmm.
him for Sergio Mora. Like
R.I.P. Vernon.
I need to take this shit serious. And Vernon was a real one, and Diego, was a real. I remember Diego asked me to move with him, and I was like, all right, bro, I'm kind of too big. But I just never knew where that narrative came from, even when I fought. So I think the perception of me like when I fought the Fernando Guerreros, when I fought the Danny Jacobs and hurt them in the fight, like that perception changed really fucking quick because I'm like, bro, I may not be getting. I'm not on the A side. I'm coming in as a B side. I'm already know I'm down 5 rounds to 0 before the fight even start. But
Right.
I'm a game my fucking respect out here.
I
And
think
that's
the
what I always
You
did.
got your respect because you are
I,
one of a kind. You the first one from your city, to do what you did to become world champion.
I
So
real
you
quick.
definitely got your respect.
I think the first fight that I ever seen you fight, I think it was the Randall Bailey fight. Um,
That's another one. That right there was crazy because at that time it was like I was being showcased on Showbox like crazy. I was coming
Mm-hmm.
up. I felt like I was finally getting my respect. So like y'all said, like every time they would give me, they said, you want to fight? I had like 11 or 12 fights, and they were like, you want to fight Sam Gar? Sam Gar had just fought, I think, James Page for the WBA title. He
mhm.
had like 30 some fights. I said, give him to me. They gave him to me. I made my little 10 racks. Fought him, boom. Then I fought. They said we got an undefeated fighter for you, David Estrada. Give him to me. Same 10,000. No problem. Then they said, listen, man, you exceeding expectations. We're gonna get you ranked here in every 147 class, all the belts. We're gonna get you all these all the sister belts to the main belts. After this, you're gonna be ranked. After that, title shot and we gonna put you. And I knew who Randall was. I knew that motherfucker was knocking everybody out. He
Mm-hmm.
had he
He could
had
fight. He could
more
fight.
knockouts than I had fights,
Yeah.
and I
Right.
was just like, they said we gonna put you with Randall Bailey. I said, give him to me. They said we're gonna pay you 10,000. I said,
Again,
I said, wait a minute, whoa, hold up. I said, I beat David Estrada for 10. I beat Sam Gar for 10. I'm fighting for 10. That's all I'm getting. I fought David Estrada as a main event 10. Now you want me to fight Randall Bailey as a main event, 12 rounds, and you want to pay me 10,000, man. You got to do better. They came back, hey man, it's 11,000. Take it or leave it. I said, God, again, give them to me. Let's go then. Let's go then. So I fought. That was just all my mentality. Plus, I had a family to take care of. You know, if I pull out of that fight, they may shelve me. And then, you know, after the fight, they took so much money out of my purse. I barely had enough to. I think my check when I came was before I cashed it was like $3,000. That's when I found out you had to pay for belts. You had to do all types of shit. And I was like, man, so
Boxing
I
nasty,
mean,
man.
it's a nasty game, and
It's
I, like I
nasty.
said, I've been. That's why when I tell fighters, it's cool to have the the Andre Ward careers and the Floyd. If that's what you are, the Terrence Crawford careers, but a lot of fighters can't relate to that, bro. A lot of
Mhm.
fighters don't have them. Them are once in a lifetime careers. You won't have a lot that will have a Bud Crawford career or a Floyd Mayweather career or Andre Ward career.
You
You
talking
know what I'm
about Pastor
saying?
Andre Ward?
Yeah, Pat. You know when
Oh,
he
okay.
he's retired undefeated, won the Super Six, and
Hmm.
you won't have a lot of guys, but if you will have a lot of guys that have battled this sport on the up and down. That story is more prevalent than those other ones.
Yeah.
You would have a lot of motherfuckers that had to really go out here and get it out the mud and really had to press and press. Like Glenn Johnson, that was a motherfucker that just really straight up and down had to get it out of the fucking mud.
A
You
savage,
know,
the road
you know,
warrior.
you know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
that story is more prevalent in this game
Yeah.
than the other ones. So that's why I tell fighters, man, if you need any advice, holler at somebody that's a story like mine. Cause they're gonna keep it buck. They're gonna tell you what it is and what it ain't.
Now
Mm.
I got one more. I got one more for you before I pass the mic. I'm coming back because we got to talk about some of the fights that's coming up as well. But I want to ask you, what was it like being on the Contender? You know what I'm saying? I believe that was or you end up fighting Mora in Sergio Mora in on the Contender, that type of thing. What was it like being a part of that whole situation? That was the first time boxing had been put on national TV the way it was. Well, I ain't gonna say the first time, but for them to put it in the situation that y'all were kind of in, what was that like for you?
No, you was right. You was right. It was the first time they put it on a situation like that. Not,
Yeah.
we were being seen every week in 10, 12 million, 15 million homes. And that was a failure. And that's why the NBC didn't bring it back. But I thought it was outside of the setup and having to deal with the egos in the house. And, you got 16 fighters living in the house, man, and training together, eating together, having to fight together. You got the attitudes, the cutting weight outside of dealing with all of that, and then you got the little ring. When I tell you that ring was small, that ring was small. So outside of all
What
that,
they had,
it
what
was
they had y'all in the 16 by 16?
Man, that ring was
no,
super small, bro.
no. When I tell you that ring was small, bro, that shit wouldn't pass regulation in no commission in the country. The shit
Damn.
was small, bro. It was
That was
small.
a
So
perfect ring, Ishe. That was a perfect
Nah,
ring.
BVO,
nah,
You should
BVO
have
out
man.
of
been in that
order.
ring.
BVO out of order again. He out of order
nah,
again.
baby. That ring was like real tiny, bro.
But
So
That
Ishe,
ring
that
was
was a perfect
smaller than
ring,
hold
man.
on,
when
but overall,
the
what was
Blue
that?
Horizon ring in Philly.
when
That
you
ring was
look like
super
I
small.
mean when you look back at it, the show honestly was ahead of its time because if that show comes out anytime during this age,
It's
all
it's
of
it's
us
money.
all of us are multimillionaires and never have to work a day in our life ever again and would never have to fight ever again. We would have been bigger than the Jake Pauls, bigger than everybody. That show was way ahead of its time, man. And that show
It
was
was.
great. It was just ahead of its time. But it was a great show. It launched my career. And I still to this day get recognized from that show more than anything. You gotta some people recognize me from winning the world title and being a fighter, but I think the majority of people, especially the non-boxing people, they recognize me more from that show than they actually. Some of them don't even know I won a world title, but they knew I was on that damn show, and
I
they'll be
remember
like,
you
"Man,
from being the first dude from Vegas to win a world title, born in Vegas.
so you a boxing guy though, so
That's what I'm
you know what I'm
saying. Yeah.
saying." But you get these people that follow like the Jake Pauls that's not really into boxing, but in it for like the contender or in it for
Hmm.
Jake Paul. They will remember more so me from that show than actually from my career.
Well, since you brought it up, and I say this, what you
Your
think
mic,
Hold
about
on.
Jake
your
Paul and
mic
Tank
went out,
Davis?
Dub.
What you think about that fight?
Dub,
Oh,
ask it
can y'all
over
hear me?
again. Yeah, yeah, but do it again. Just
I
ask
said,
it.
Yeah,
I
your
said,
mic
since
went
you
out there.
brought it up, what you think about Jake Paul and Tank Davis?
You
I think
know,
it's one of the worst fights. I think it's a disgrace to the sport of boxing, in my
uh,
personal opinion.
Hold
this
on,
is what
But
Jake Paul from
I want
Cleveland,
your
champ.
opinion.
Jake Paul from
okay.
Cleveland.
Well, I
So
still think it's a disgrace.
this is what at first the fan in me, the fighter that told y'all I was and I described about the sparring and all that, the fighter in me was just like you. You know, I was saying this exactly what you would say. But if I'm your manager and you are Tank
Hmm.
and you have an opportunity to make 50, 60, 70, anywhere in that range that I know you can't make fighting anybody in the sport of boxing at this stage, and all you doing is going to do an exhibition, I would be I would be doing you a disservice as your manager to put you out there. What is there to prove? They not gonna love you at the end of the day. I just told you, Floyd can go around and say, I'm the best ever. You still gonna have people hating on him and say, well, he ducked this guy. You guys see it. He ducked that guy. He didn't fight this guy. The Pacquiao fight was too late. People are always gonna complain. So the fan in me felt just like you. But when I started thinking about how this sport is set up, man, how it ain't no pension, how it ain't no health insurance for the fighters, how people gotta go and do everything on their own, how promoters just take. They don't give, they don't, the promoters don't put you on and say, hey, get with this account, invest this money, take 10% of your money, put it in this investment, this retirement account. They don't teach you none of that. They don't set you up on health insurance. There ain't no pension for me being 20 years in this game. I didn't get no pension when I retired. So, me as your advisor, if I'm advising you today, and I'm looking at Tank, I gotta do what's in the best interest of my fighter, man. Me and that I know the game. It's about money at the end of the day. This legacy shit don't pay the bills because people don't care about your legacy. They really
Mm.
don't. You can have the greatest legacy that is ever was around and people don't care. You know what they say about Floyd? Oh, he fought Conor McGregor to get 50. That don't count. You know what they say about Marciano? He retired undefeated. Oh, he didn't fight nobody, but he fought everybody in his era. He fought everybody that was in his era. It wasn't like Ali was in his era. He couldn't fight Ali. He couldn't fight Joe Louis when he was in his prime. He fought everybody who was available to him. They're always gonna complain, man. So the way this sport is set up today, get your money, bro. If you
Mm.
can go out there and make, and I ain't talking about if you gonna fight Lamont Roach, you gonna get 10 million, and you fighting Jake Paul and you getting 15. I'm not talking about that because we know those numbers ain't the Lamont Roach 10 million. That ain't there. I'm talking about if you're gonna go out there and make 50 million for an exhibition and you're not gonna get that with no fighter in boxing, I'll be a goddamn fool as your manager to tell you to go fight Lamont Roach. Why
Yeah,
would I tell why would I
You
tell you to
cody shit.
why would I tell you to do that?
yeah, that's tough.
That
We took
why
care of Muhammad, man. We take care of y'all when y'all
because
out of the sport.
because at the end of the day, they not gonna love you, bro.
But I'm
They
gonna
not
tell you why I disagree with you. I'm gonna tell you why I disagree. If that man would have went and made however much 20 million with Devin, if he made 20 million with Shakur, he may not have had that 50, but he would have much more respect on his name. One of the reasons you got respect on your name is because you fought everybody. That's
yeah,
what,
but
Hmm.
as fight fans, that's what we want to see. I understand
Hmm.
it ain't about us. I understand that. And like you said, it ain't no pension. It ain't no health care that's given to y'all. Boxing is the wild, wild west. At the same, man, you got to respect the sport though. At the end of the day, that's how I look at it. And I could be very wrong about it.
where's the respect? If we gonna respect the sport, where's the respect for us? If we gonna respect the sport, where's the respect for the health insurance? Where's the respect for the fighters that can barely speak?
Mm.
Who can't? I've seen them fighters. I've been in the rooms, and I won't name no names because I respect them. But I've been in the rooms with them fighters, and I said I got out when I was supposed to because I can't understand the damn thing he's saying. And where's the
That's real.
respect?
It's really
Where's
not funny though.
where is the respect for them? All the promoters all the Don Kings and Bob Arams and all of them that are just millionaires over and over. Where are the respect for them? Where the respect for the promoters who took all the money from them and the fighters are hurting now? Where's the respect for them? Man, it ain't about none of that because as I told you before, these fans, as a fan, you have that inside you. Like we'll respect you more, but you got to look at it as a whole. You will respect them more, but as a whole, the fans don't give a shit because if Tank goes out there and knocks Lamont Roach out or whatever, at the end of the day, it's just another fight, bro. If he knocks him out, they're gonna say fight him again. If he lose, they gonna say, ha ha, you lost the first time. And you know what? He $40 million short from
Mm.
taking that fight versus taking Jake Paul.
That's why I
Well,
respect the fighters, bro.
yeah,
I respect
let
like
me.
I
Oh,
respect the
my bad.
fighters. No, it's all
Let,
good, BBO.
let
I
me
respect the
let
fighters.
me bring in my brother, man, brother Bernard Hackett. He got a really
Yes.
good young fighter, man, in Jaleel. I don't know if you're familiar with Jaleel Champ, but we definitely been on a campaign. We want to see him versus Xander
Yes.
Zayas. I don't know if you've seen him, the Puerto Rican man. I went to the
Mhm.
fight, man. It was so crazy. You know Thomas, right? TD, right? So
Top.
when
Mhm.
yeah, so when Xander won, Tommy was crying,
Oh
Johnny
no.
Boy Boxing was crying, all the Puerto Ricans
Chill,
was
bro.
crying,
Chill,
man.
That's
chill, man.
It
You
crazy.
out of
was
order,
crazy,
man.
man.
You out
That
of
is
I
order.
thought
crazy.
when he
You out of
came out,
order.
Champ, hold on, Champ, when he came out, I thought Muhammad Ali came out, bro. They were screaming so loud. Bro.
You out of order, man.
Hey, hey, you know how in the small we was in the small room at the MSG. So you know what they call the hula room. So you know when they come out the top. So they come out the top, I just hear a roar. And it's Xander. And when he won, I got it on I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna take it to you. When that dude started speaking Spanish, man, the Porter was in there crying, man. It was crazy. I never seen nothing like
No,
that. I was
that's
like,
crazy.
this guy, man, he got him. But go ahead,
I'm
brother Bernard. I
I'm
know you got
not
some questions
I'm
for the champ.
not there's some fighters I don't watch it a lot like I used to. Um but he don't do it for me, man. He
Yeah, I mean,
does.
he's not a Emiliano Vargas or nothing like that, but
No, but I'm saying no. There's just the Xander kid don't do it for me
Mm.
at all. He just does not
You don't
move
think
me.
he boxing move good? You don't.
he
Nah, man.
runs. He doesn't box. He
He
runs.
doesn't. He does not. He doesn't do it for me,
So you
man.
think Jalil Hackett can beat him then?
I think it'll be a great. I think it'll be a good fight, and if they want to
Hmm.
test the young man, they should put him in there. But he's not.
They
He's
both
not.
22, champ.
He doesn't. I doesn't. I don't look at him and say, man, that kid, he the truth. Like he got it. Like he the truth. I just call it how I see it. He just don't do it for me, man.
Mm.
He doesn't. It just looks like another top rank special where
Ah.
Ah.
they maneuver they maneuvered him really well. They put him in a great position. He had, Brad Goodman over there is a great matchmaker, and I think they got him the right matches. They know he's limited, and he's done well with the matches he's gotten. But man, he does not move it. He does not do it for me, dog. When we saw Cotto coming up and they was promoting Cotto, we knew he was a dog and he had it. But dog,
Mhm.
this kid just does not. He don't do it for me, man.
What about the
Damn.
blowout? He got the blowout hair doing everything. Come on,
Nah,
Champ.
he don't do it. He don't do it for me,
That's
man.
tough.
What you
He
got?
don't.
What you
If you
got for us, brother
hold on
Bernard? Can
real
you
quick,
hear
if
me?
you, real quick, Ishe, do you pick? And we do this over here a lot. As fans, we pick fights. Do you pick fights?
Sometimes, I mean, I would want to see. I don't think Tio. I've been following along. I don't think Tio is gonna beat Shakur
Me either.
whatsoever.
We agree on
Nope.
that.
Nope.
I don't think Tio's gonna beat Shakur. I think it's going to be a one-sided beatdown. And Shakur had work. What was funny about the Shakur thing? Me and Shakur used to follow each other on Twitter, and he got mad
Mm-hmm.
because I I particularly didn't like he was shitting on Bob Aaron while he was still with him because he said something on the lines of racist and blah blah and all this other shit, and like he was still being promoted by the man, and I was just like, look, man, I tried to put him on game like, yo, that's not, that's not, don't do it like that. Take the high road, finish your contract up with him, and going about your business. If that's how you feel, because you know what, I did that already when I was with the Contender. I shitted on them heavy when social media wasn't even around. I called the promoter, slave. Was posting pictures of me being in a cotton field, all kind of shit. But you know what? It wasn't to my benefit. I made that mistake. 'Cause I should have just took the high road and just let it be and let the attorneys and everything play out, and I still got my release, but I damaged that relationship. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I
Yeah.
forever damaged that, and that's what I was trying to say. But he took it like
Yeah, he snapped. Yeah.
way more personal. I'm like,
Yeah, he
bro,
Yeah.
snapped.
calm your ass down, bro. Like it's not that serious. Calm your ass down.
That's some young
Who,
boys though,
who,
champ
who,
though.
Can you, hey,
Hey,
can you hold on one second, Dub? Can you hear me, brother Bernard?
yeah, hey, brother, y'all was having such a good one. I ain't want to jump in.
No, I gotta. Sometimes I gotta pull you in, man. Go ahead, man.
Nah, I was just listening to what the brother said. I think this is one of those shows where they need to actually pull these sound clips out and let these uh people know. And I'm not even talking, when I say people, I ain't even talking about the fans. What Ishe was saying, they need to let that be known to the families. People think, especially your family, think when you turn pro under one of these big promoters that you in the NFL or the NBA. Pro
No,
boxing, pro boxing is the one sport where when you turn pro, you sign your contract, even if you were the big, your life don't change.
nah. And you know
Your
what? It is very, it's very, very little that get signing bonuses. Very little that get a bonus. I know Floyd got a bonus, De La Hoya got a bonus. I think Ward got a bonus, but them we're talking about
Photo
Olympic.
got one, I think.
Yeah, yeah, we talking about Olympic medalists though. Those are the guys getting bonus. But you got to remember, these guys got it way better than I had it when I was starting off. And even they got it way better than the guys before me. So they should really be like really thankful that where this sport is today,
Mhm.
outside of like the big fights. Sometimes the big fights take a little longer. Now with Turkey, we getting the big fights a little bit more, but outside of that, man, these guys are making a shitload of money, bro. I remember guys headlining HBO not making what these guys are making to fight 6 7 6 round 8 rounds on TV. Like, I'm here, this guy making 250,000 and he's on the undercard. I was like, God damn.
Right.
Like, I remember like, I remember I went to the Playboy Mansion. Playboy Mansion used to have ESPN fights there every summer. And I remember I went there one time, and I think the main event guys was only getting like 20,000, 25,000. I
Hmm.
mean, I remember what it was because I was on the ESPN main events was only paying like 20 to maybe 40,000, depending on what the fight, like 20 to 30 to 40,000. Especially like HBO After Dark was probably like 75 on the high end.
What,
And
100?
then championship boxing was probably like 200, 250. These guys are making that and they don't even have 10 fights, bro. I remember the one guy, can't think of his name, but he ended up beating the opponent. The brother jumped the opponent after the fight. He was top rank. He real good though. I'm trying to think.
Sean
Keyshawn?
Keyshawn
Davis.
Davis.
Keyshawn Davis. Dog, he was making that shit a long time ago.
Yeah.
200,000. That wasn't that was not shit. And I remember that was like a HBO Boxing After Dark main event money. That's
Yeah.
HBO Boxing After Dark main event money back in the day. So these guys should really be thankful about where they're at. And that's why I had to switch it up and really think where I came from, how much money I was making. And I really had to go, yeah, I was upset, like, oh, this is some bullshit. You fighting Jake Paul, you dumb motherfucker. Oh my God. And then I had to think, when they start mentioning the money, I was like, wait a minute. I was like, all right, go get that. Go get that. Because at the end of the day, these motherfuckers ain't gonna love you, bro. They always gonna complain about something. They always gonna say something. Oh, you knocked them out, but you drained them. But Ryan Garcia signed the contract. So if he didn't want to do it, why did he sign the fight? It was his
Mm-hmm.
choice to put his ink on it. They're never going to give you the credit that you deserve, man. Go get that money, young man. And if you don't want to fight no more, don't, bro. This game, like I think somebody said it best. It's the only sport where you start off, it ain't no big money, ain't no big ass signing bonus. It ain't like no other sport, but it's the hardest sport. So if Tank got a chance to go make 50 million fighting that man, go get that money, dog. That respect shit don't pay no bills, bro. I see a lot of niggas that was I see a lot of niggas that was respected in boxing and can barely talk right now. And people don't say shit. Just damn, man, you see how fucked up he is? He took too much punishment. Ain't nobody trying to put no money. Ain't nobody trying to give him no money or nothing, man. Fuck all that respect.
Mm.
Go ahead, brother. But no.
He want the
Hey,
money. I can dig it.
Ishe, I'm with you 100%, champ. I'm in a situation where I'm bringing my son along. My son been blessed to be with, some great teams, great situation for him. And my son, the first one to tell you, I ain't trying to be here forever. So I want to fight my fights while I can and get my money and get out of here. And when people say I'm a fan of the sport, but then you do these defending of fighters who don't want to fight, but then you give a fighter flack who does want to fight. That's so contradictory to me.
Mm.
You say you want these good fights, you say you want your fighters to fight, not run around the ring, but the ones you praise are the ones that's doing the exact opposite of what you say. And I had some good people in this game, older than me, been around longer than me, tell me something that was so crazy. They said, bro, fans are sheep. Whichever way the corral pushes them is the way they're going to go. Just hope you on the side of the corral as opposed to outside the pen.
That's facts. And I'm gonna ask y'all a question. And I want y'all to be honest. I'm gonna ask y'all a question. We know first. I'm just gonna set it up. We know Lamont Roach more so because Tank gave him an opportunity. We know him better because I think everybody will agree on this call that that was a knockdown. And if they
Mm-hmm.
call that a knockdown, Tank loses. It was a very close fight. With a lot of people thought he won without the knockdown. They call it a knockdown. He loses, but the public, that mainstream public, didn't really know who Lamont was to Tank gave him an opportunity. All right, so we reverse it. We say Lamont Roach now. Tank wants to rematch. He wants to fight. Jake Paul calls Lamont Roach. Hey man, I got 50 million for you. Let's do this exhibition. Lamont Roach jumps out of the Tank fight and say, I'm going to fight Jake Paul. I'm getting this 50 million. Would the smoke still be the same? Or will it be
It'll be even worse.
Yeah, we would track. Lamont Roach would never be able to show his face.
Only reason I say it, and I
but
understand.
why but why though?
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. Because as a fan, right, and I only live as a fan. I'm a fan of the sport, and because I'm a fan of the sport, I want to see that rematch. That with that fight being as close as it was, I agree with you. But at the same time, I understand making your money. Everybody, hey, whatever profession you in, you want to make your money. I got that. My problem is when you have a fight like that, nigga, we want to see the rematch. But that's from a fan perspective. That's that, and I can't. The money they make, I can't spend. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never gonna get a piece of that.
Mm.
So when I'm looking at it, I look at boxing the same way I look at the NFL, the same way I look at the NBA. Man, it's entertainment. You know what I'm saying? So I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, as a fan, hell, I go to work every day. You know what I'm saying? I
I
work every
feel
day.
yeah.
So all I'm saying is that I want to see the best fighting the best. And when we see a fight like that happen, even though I agree with you, I thought Lamont Roach won the fight. I thought it should have been counted as a knockdown. Let's see the rematch. Let's see Tank go get it back. You know what I'm saying? Same way, I'm a huge Devin fan. When Devin got beat by Ryan Garcia, and then it come out that Ryan Garcia was cheating. Yeah, what I said, don't sue the man. Get it back in the ring, bro. And that's just a fan of boxing that I am. So
But see, you
Hey,
guys,
coach, let
you
me.
guys, you guys have a bigger, you guys got a platform. You got a bigger calling than just being regular fans. You know, some of you guys know the nuances that go on in this game. You know what the fighters deal with. You know the shit that goes on behind the scenes. And when you don't know, you privy enough to talk to guys like me who tell you what goes on. So at some point, being that you guys have this big platform, so you have a big responsibility, you got to let the fan go, man. And you really got to understand, like, you got to understand that if you're in his shoes or you're managing that guy, how important it is to tell him to go get that bag. Go get that bag. Cause that shit, that fan shit, is for people that don't really know the sport. That
Mhm.
I think somebody just said it.
Question. Let me ask
What
coach a
did
question.
somebody
Hey,
just say
coach,
about the fans? Somebody just said something about what somebody told
they
them about
sheep.
the fan. They sheep.
They sheep.
So
They go
don't
whichever way the herd herds them.
exactly. So don't be like that because y'all guys got a platform to educate and to really understand how this game. And y'all already do that. So when you say I want the fight, that's those sheep, man. I was just like you until I had to put myself back into the game and think like if I was fighting and somebody came at me with that money, if I was managing Tank, what the fuck would I do? Man, we gonna go get this 50 million and fuck
Oh
that
hell yeah.
Lamont Rose fight. Fuck that
Yeah.
fight, brother. We gonna get this money, and you gonna take care of your family, your kids' family, they family. If you do right with your money, none of your kids and all of that is going to be taken care of for like we're going to buy you some land, we're going to set you up properly, we're going to make sure you ain't never got to work another day in your life because that's what it's all about, man. It ain't nothing about these fans, man, these fair weather
Mm,
ass
that's
fans.
tough.
Fuck
Hey,
these fans,
We
bro.
buy the tickets though,
hey,
champ,
EJ.
and the pay
Hey,
per
Ishe, oh,
views.
let me ask coach something. Let me ask coach something. Which I just said. Ishe brought a great point. Hey, coach, these are all jobs. Even as a boxer, it's a job, correct? Correct,
Talking to you,
coach,
Dub.
it's a job.
You talking to Dub or you talking to Ishe?
Yeah, Dub.
Dub. Yeah. Yeah, Dub.
that again,
A boxer is a job just like every other job, correct?
absolutely.
Okay, now if you are the guy who makes the best double quarter pounders at McDonald's, and I mean, I watch you flip that patty, I watch you put that sandwich together, and you make the best in the world. You give them tricks with the spatula, everything, and you make $10 an hour, and they say, "Hey, we want to see if you can run a McDonald's. We gonna make you the general manager, making $50 an hour. Why should I, because you're my favorite burger flipper, want you to stay flipping burgers so I can watch you instead of me seeing you go to be a general manager and make more money? It's the same situation.
I think that's a horrible analogy. First
No,
off,
I get what he's
real quick.
saying, but
Well, go ahead.
on a personal on another level, we got to think about we got
I want to respond to
God
that. I want to
God re-
respond to that.
God rest his soul. But you remember George Foreman also retired broke. He ain't had no money. And when he had to come back, he came back to fight for money. And then he ended up making that second run, beating Michael Moore, winning that title, and he then had a little money. He was okay at that point. But remember, one of the best heavyweights to ever do it, a lot of people put him in their top 10. He retired broke. Remember that. And it wasn't until he came back, run on that run, beat Michael Moore, he was able to secure a little bit more money, but he still was just okay. But
Yeah,
then
to the grill. Yeah.
it was that goddamn grill.
Yeah.
So if
Hey,
if
shout out to
now
the same
I
grill.
say that to say this. So if we talking about him and he's one of the best to ever do it, and he retired broke. And I think how this game is set up, I would be a fucking idiot to tell Tank not to go get your money, because this game is not set up for fighters to win, especially after the fact. Nobody is setting these fighters up, teaching these fighters how to invest their money and save their money and all of that. Shelly Finkel got all kind of investors. He's monetized his whole career off the black fighter. You think he's setting them down, showing them how to put their money aside and how to? Hell no, he not. He don't give a fuck about that. He don't care about that. As long as they just all want to take. A lot of people like these old school guys, they don't like the way boxing is set up now. For me personally, I don't give a shit. I'm kind of laughing at it like, yo, go get your money. Y'all want to make a white boy who never fought before in his life, who can't spell the word fight, y'all want to make him a multimillionaire, go ahead. This is what the game has come to. This is what it came to. This came from years and years of fighters not fighting each other, years and years of fucking promoters bickering from back in the days when Don King would put his fighters with Top Rank. Top Rank will put his fighters with Don King, and then when they do it, it's too fucking long. It's too late. This is from years and years of bad decisions. The public, they'll watch a fight and say, "What happened with that? We thought that." This is and the public lose interest because they think the shit is fixed or robbed. They tired of seeing robbed. This is years and years of that. Jake Paul is years and years of what the sport has done to itself. The sport has killed itself. So I really don't give a shit. So if the fighters can monetize themselves like a Tank, and I'm pretty sure it'd be somebody else, if they can go make that money, man, go ahead, bro. Go ahead. Who gives a fuck? I don't give a shit, man. It's a clown show. I
That's
don't
deep.
So,
I don't give a shit. I don't care,
the thing
man.
is, so what you're saying, boxing is a clown show now, correct?
Look who's one of the most popular fighters in the world. People probably know Jake Paul. Did we just see the numbers? Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson was seen by like 100 and some million people, and Terrence Crawford versus Canelo was only seen by 40 million,
But
and
Mike was named.
it
But
was
Mike name was
fucking
attached to that,
free.
champ.
It
Mike
was
Tyson
fucking
name.
free.
I got you.
Cam, Jake Paul
Jake
is from Cleveland, man.
Man,
Oh
Mike
my god.
Tyson, Mike Tyson is 105 years old, man.
Whoa, now you out of order.
That motherfucker,
Hold on, wait a
that
minute. Hold on,
motherfucker been
Ishe. Hold
fighting.
on,
That
bro.
motherfucker
You
been
out of
fighting
order.
since I was a
No,
kid.
you out of order. Me and Mike Tyson got the same birthday, and because we got the same birthday,
It is dude talking crazy.
you can't just talk crazy about Mike up
You
here.
talk about
No,
birthday.
what I'm saying is, I love Mike, but we not gonna sit here and act like just because his name was attached to it. Jake Paul, I'm gonna give credit where credit is due. That motherfucker got a lot of fans, and he is a product of what this game has done. Him and his brother, have monetized themselves. First of all, they monetized themselves specifically off of being white. They saw that it's not a lot of great white fighters from the states that are great champions or great fighters. It has been years and decades where we've actually had. They've always tried to make them a great white fighter. It's always failed, But they've monetized this sport. They cater to it.
He the great white hope. He the great white hope.
No.
No, he's
We're
not the
gonna.
great white hope. He pimped the game.
Yeah, he
And
did.
I gotta give respect what respect due. I only thing I don't respect is when he starts calling out saying he can beat this guy, that guy. And I get it now. It doesn't piss me off now because I realize that's just a part of his schnick. That's what he wants you to think, like he's ready for Canelo. And some of these dumbass fans think he could beat Terrence Crawford, he could beat this guy, he could beat that guy. And they believe that shit. But dog, he's pimped the game better than any fighter I have ever seen pimp it. He's made so much money in this game. It is fucking. He's made so much money in this game. You got Floyd fighting Mike Tyson now, and that's crazy.
That's
Yeah, that
ridiculous.
is a good
It's some
point.
of the most ridiculous shit I've ever seen.
Wow,
It's,
they
Yeah,
both
but
it,
I
retired
also
though.
say he did. I also say he did a lot for the game in the sense of
I
he
did, but
bought he bought a lot of light.
he
He's
did.
blown up women's boxing. He's really done it for them. If he does nothing else in this sport, he going to Hall of Fame for what he's done for women's boxing.
But there's a difference between what he does as a promoter versus what he does as a fighter.
There is no difference. He the same guy. Let me
There's
play a
no
clip for
difference.
you.
It's
He the
They the
same
totally
same
different.
man.
guy, man. They the
He the
same
same
guy.
guy. He the same
They
guy.
the
Let me
I
play a
same
would
clip.
Same
guy.
I would
guy.
Hold
disagree
on.
with
Let me
all
play a
y'all.
clip.
I would
Let,
disagree with all y'all on that.
let me play a clip for you real quick, Isha. I want to see what you think about this clip.
Supporting another black man making millions and millions of dollars, so I'm proud of you no matter what you think. And
So what do you think about Tank Davis telling somebody, hey, I don't care that you're happy for me. And then you see him go out of his way to berate the man and say, what are you doing helping, Cleveland's own Jake Paul? Do you think Tank is wrong for that, or you think that's just him putting on for the cameras?
I think Tank is just putting on for the cameras, man. Tank is he's hard to figure out. You know what I'm saying? He's a very it's hard to read him. But one thing he's another one that just kind of they've all, and I know they've all kind of just taken this blueprint of how to make a lot of money, the Oscar De La Hoya way, the Floyd Mayweather way, and a lot of Jake Paul has taken that blueprint and he's done 10 times better than they did with it. He has. You know why I say Jake Paul pimped the game better than Floyd, better than Oscar De La Hoya, better than Mike Tyson, better than all these superstars that boxing has made over the years? Because he don't know how to fight. He's not a good boxer. I know hella boxers, real boxers, that will beat his ass right now. Like literally, you can put him in a fight and they will beat the shit out of Jake Paul. That's what makes
He
him.
beat he beat he beat he beat some tough guys, man. He beat Nate
Man, who?
Robinson. He
Who?
beat
BVO,
Masvidal.
BVO, BVO. Stop,
Don't do
stop.
that. Don't do that,
No,
You
no,
Deuce.
I'm
you
talking.
make
Hold
you
on, hold
making
on, hold
us
on,
all
hold on.
you making us all look bad with
Stop,
Yeah,
your
we're
man.
not
No,
doing
hold
you
on.
that.
making us all look
Oh,
bad right now.
It's
hold on,
He
hold
not.
said
on,
It's
Nate Rob.
not.
He led with Nate Robinson, bro.
It's not
hold on.
one fighter in the top 20 that guy can beat right now in the real fight. Not one.
He
And
lost to
cruiserweight.
he lost
I'm
to
not saying.
Tommy
As
Fury,
I'm not
soon
saying.
as
Dusek.
Hold on, let me say.
as soon as they put him with a fighter with somewhat a pulse, Tommy Fury, he lost. He clearly lost. He can't. I don't listen. I look at guys, right? Like I told you, I look at Keisha. I be like, man, that motherfucker can go, man. That motherfucker can fight. Even Shakur, his last fight, I was like, man, that motherfucker that motherfucker tough. I see guys like Jake Paul. I don't watch him and see nothing and say, man, that motherfucker can fight, boy. He good as fuck. There's nothing I see that I'll look at him and say, I'm impressed. Nothing. Nothing at all. The only thing I'm impressed by him is how he pimped the fucking game and how he does actually work. He don't come up to the fights showing up like fat and shit and out of shape. He actually
Right.
does put in the work. So I appreciate that. But I don't see him and think, man, that motherfucker can go. He can fight, man. That motherfucker is tough. He can beat guys in the top 10 right now, like Anthony Joshua. They talking about putting him with Anthony. Are you fucking kidding me?
Joshua, he might not wake up if they put him in there with
But
Joshua.
Anthony, hold on. We just seen Anthony Joshua get slapped by Triple D, man. How many times
Yeah, but
Anthony Joshua went to bed?
Danny Dubois is a
A-
world class fighter.
AJ stay sleep. They stay putting him
Man,
to
But
bed.
stop that, man.
I bet you my
No, I'm not
house
saying.
that he
No,
can't
I'm
beat
not saying
AJ.
Jake Paul
Man,
can win. This is what I'm saying.
but you
Hold
out
on,
of
hold on,
order.
hold on, hold on,
You
hold
out of
on,
order.
hold on, Dub, hold on. This is what I'm saying. What you just said is true. There's something to the spectacle. I don't even think Jake Paul is fighting for himself, if you ask me. I think Jake Paul is fighting for attention because you got to think who you put on the card. Amanda Serrano raised her profile higher than it's ever been. Now you see Alicia Bumgarner, one of my favorite fighters from Ohio, he raising her profile. So it's almost like to me, I look at him like when Easy would drop an album. We all knew Easy wasn't the best, but it keep the energy going around him, and he could push his fighters up. You don't look at it that way because he's not gonna beat no overtired nobody like that. But I think it's for nothing more than to pay some bills while we get this thing going because he's making some money and he's spending a lot of money too. Just to be honest with you, what you think
Well,
about that, Isha?
uh, he's making it ain't just like he doing it, man. If he doing it for fun, bro, that motherfucker is making a lot of money, dog. It's not even. It's ridiculous how much he's making. The kind of money that it took superstars to make years. It took De La Hoya years to make the kind of money this guy is making. It's taking this guy. Not even half the years that it took. Floyd Mayweather called his first HBO contract slave wages. That guy made those slave wages in one fight. Dude, he pimped the game. He broke the code. He not fighting for no attention no more. He got the attention. The attention is his. He don't need the attention. That motherfucker is making so much money. It's crazy. And I'm not talking about just Netflix. Everywhere he goes, he can work with Netflix. He can work with Turkey. He can work with everywhere he goes. They cutting him checks. He broke the code. He don't need it. It took them years to make that kind of money, man. Andre Ward ain't never made the kind of money Jake Paul made. Man, Jake Paul is still making money for fighting lesser. And that's what's crazy. That's where he broke the code and he pimped the game out. And that's why I gotta respect it. So when I see him giving not the basketball players, not the MMA former MMA fighters. That's cool. They getting paid. I ain't gonna hate on them getting paid. But when I see a guy like Tank can go there and get 50 million from some stupid ass exhibition that he probably won't even barely get hit. I mean, he's so fucking small. I don't know how he's gonna get inside to hit him. I know Tank has good defense. I don't know how Jake Paul is gonna hit him. But when I can see Tank can make 50 million on some shit that's not even real, bro, go get your money, man. He broke the code. And if Tank is making 50 million, how much is this motherfucker making? How much is he making?
I get what you're saying, but I gotta remember this. I
The
gotta
man making
remember.
100. Reports are he making 100+ million.
Come on, man.
But this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying.
Reports.
Hold on. Let me say this.
What are we even? There's nothing to even talk about, man. When a motherfucker like Jake Paul with ain't none of y'all looked at a Jake Paul fight and was impressed and said he can go. I love watching this motherfucker. Ain't nobody on this call said that. And you just telling me this motherfucker about to make $100 million? That is a problem. If that ain't a problem, it took, you know how long it took De La Hoya and Floyd and all them guys to make $100 million. That's crazy.
But that's the whole issue that we have with all of this. You're making a mockery of boxing, in my personal opinion. As far as Jake Paul goes, you're making a mockery of the sport.
Well, if you're making mock me, then shit. If you're gonna pay me 50 million, mock me. Mock me, then shit. give me that 50 million.
Ishe, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this because I see where you guys are going. I want to ask you this. So if he called you right now and said, "Hey, Ishe, former champ, I got 25 million for you. Come box me."
Taking it. It ain't even nothing to talk about. I'm taking it, but my mindset is I'm taking it and I'm gonna beat his ass. I'm not taking it to lay down, bro. I don't do that kind of shit. That's not in my bloodline. I'd rather go out on my back. And that's something I learned from being with Diego and just coming up under him, dog, coming up and being mentored by him and being in all those camps. My mindset is not number one, I wouldn't take it unless I was able to fully commit to a full training camp. And I'm not going in there. You're not gonna put me on some clip, some reel, or if he was to knock me out or I was to lose, it would be 100% that motherfucker clipped me. Not because I laid down, not because I didn't train, not because of that. It would be one, he clipped me, and two, I'm over the hill. I got nothing left. That would be the only way. But when I look at him, I'm like, bro, I could beat this motherfucker coming out of retirement, right? Like, I don't see nothing special. The only thing I can respect is how he pimped the game, dog. I watched for years, guys. Jermaine Taylor, I think he was undisputed at one point. He never made the kind of money Jake Paul made. And that's crazy. None of these guys have. Chavez, you have to be a special one. You got to be like the Canelos. I don't think Bud has made the kind of money
He got
Jake
that
Paul had.
weird YouTube following though, champ. They
Evander made that kind of money. Lennox made that kind of money. Mike Tyson made that kind of money. Bruno made that kind of money.
He not done yet though.
No, I'm saying those dudes in the those dudes from the 90s.
He's still going.
People forget.
But you also got to think.
Hold on, let me say this real quick. I watched this thing with Evander Holyfield, and Evander said somebody didn't even think of. He said these dudes talking about the money Jake Paul was making. He said I was making $30 million in '91. He made $17 million when he fought Riddick Bowe. So the heavyweight, the money's in boxing, but the money's in guys fighting. And what you said was very powerful in the fact that so many guys then messed up the sport, stole from the sport, and they forgot and they letting the house die. If Tank was to fight Shakur Stevenson, fight Devin Haney, fight Teofimo Lopez, he would have made. I
I don't
guarantee he
think.
would have got
I don't
100.
think.
He
I
would have
don't
got.
think
He would
he.
at least got 100 from
No,
that.
I don't think he would
At
have got it.
least.
I don't think he would have got it. I
In,
don't.
hold on, in those 3 fights, you don't think he would have made $100 million?
In 3 fights,
Yeah,
Yeah.
in three.
he's about to make half of that in one
He would at
for
least
fight.
made 70 or
But but
75
but
million
What
at
but
I,
but
what
least.
I,
once
what I,
again,
this is
but
what
once again, so man, this is the sport, and I say this respectfully to you. This the sport. It's a sport that help you get money the way you were able to get it. It preserves the sport. When he goes out and makes these big fights, we know Tank is he the ultimate A side according to what everybody want to tell me, which is fine. I have no problem with it. My thing is why not go and make at least 20 million, if not more, is negotiating range. You know about negotiating, so you have the opportunity to negotiate
I
what you're
don't.
going to
I
make.
don't. I don't think. I really. Yeah, I think the numbers are a little inflated. I don't think that's there.
If Turkey came out and said, "I'm gonna send you 20 or 20 million," is that's what we're gonna start negotiations for Devin Haney. That's what Turkey said. If
If
he said,
you
it,
give
it,
him 20 to
but but
fight,
if you have that power of negotiation, what are you gonna say? Okay, your starting point is 20 million. Give me 50. I ain't gonna give you 50. I'll give you 25. Well, I want 30. All right, I end up with 30. Then you beat Devin, and then you go and fight Shakur. You have that money, and you keep
but
preserving the legacy
you
of the
know,
sport.
you know what was crazy is you're naming some of the best fighters in boxing, hands down. Now I do.
That's only who I can
Hold
call.
on, wait, and I do think Devin got his hands full with the guy coming up. I really
And
do.
I want to ask you about that. I
Yeah,
definitely
I
want to ask
think
you about that.
being that we speaking with Devin, I think he got his hands full. But you're mentioning some of the best names in boxing, and I probably if he was able to fight Devin, beat Devin, fight Shakur, beat Shakur, and move on, yeah, he possibly could get there. But he's about to get halfway there with just a guy that don't even know how to spell boxing. There's just not. There's not. There's not even a comparison.
you
I,
dumb.
I want I want you to walk through the Sahara Desert, and once you get through the desert, you pass all that shit. I got 100 million for you at the end of the desert. Or I want you to walk through the beach in California, and once you get through the beach and you get to Malibu from
How
Long
much?
Beach, I'm gonna
Let
give
me
you
ask you a
100
question.
million. Man, I'm
Hold
walking
on,
to
hold
the
on.
beach
That was
all
Let me ask you
day,
way
a question.
more.
man.
Let me ask you a question. How much did Bud Crawford make fighting Canelo? How much did Canelo make it fighting Bud Crawford? If you
I,
know, I don't know if you know.
I don't. I heard Canelo got upwards towards 100. I heard Bud got upwards of 40 or 50 or something like that. That's what I
Canelo
heard.
got $100 million.
So what you're saying is
That's
two real
crazy.
professional fighters were able to get in the ring at the two individuals that I think we all consider pound for pound individuals got in the ring with each other and they made the money. We agree on that,
Yeah,
right?
the money's there.
The
So
money, but the money is
if the money
there
is there for
because of
that,
their names.
but hold
Dog,
on,
Canelo is the biggest. No matter what you think, Canelo is the biggest draw in boxing. That's in boxing. And when you talk about Bud needed Canelo to get that kind of money. He needed him
how
to
much
get
Bud
that
made?
kind of money.
How much Bud made against EJ
They
Aerosmith?
I heard 20, 15, 25 somewhere around there. That's what I heard. They around there they both got. That's what I heard. I'm not sure. But you're talking about now these are real fights we talking about.
But that's my
And
problem. Is
The
that
we're
not part
money's
of
talking
the
about
there.
fight?
You
what
answering the
I'm saying,
question.
but the money's there. But if I can fight the dump, forget it, and get half of
Man,
that or
come on.
almost all of it, why would I put the risk out there to fight those killers for less money? Because the
Man,
money's got to build up. it ain't just gonna just show up. You gotta go through those fights. Nobody's giving Tank 100 million or 50 million to fight Shakur right now. That's not gonna happen. He may get half of that. He may get 25. He may get 20, but nobody's gonna give him. Canelo's already built up. He's a superstar of boxing. He's the attraction. They're gonna show up for him. Bud needed him. So if the reports are true, he got 40 or 50. Canelo got 100. Look how long that took. Canelo
He
that
didn't. He
fought.
didn't make $40 million though. He didn't make 40
I
million.
don't know what the number is. I don't know what the number
They had the thing, and I don't know that this could be wrong. The Wall Street Journal said Canelo made up worse before taxes, 150 million, and they're saying Bud Crawford made about $12 million.
I
Well,
don't know if that's
okay.
true or not.
Well, if it's, I
I
don't know
believe
if he
that's
made
12
that
million.
because I don't think he made that because he got that for fighting. I think he heard. I already got around that for fighting. That,
EJ,
no,
exactly.
no,
I'm just going. I'm
he
just going
fought.
off of that. I'm just
He
going off
got
of
that
that.
for fighting the guy. That guy that he won the title from. That
Madrimov?
Madrimov?
yeah. I heard he got like 9 or 10 million for that.
But they were
Yeah,
saying
I did
that
too.
Bud took less to make the fight. That's that you can
Okay, well,
the Wall Street Journal can say I'm wrong, but it looked like Bud took a pay cut to get the fight.
so
Nah,
if
bro. He
if
ain't.
that if that is the case, you just further strengthen my case because if Bud had to go through all of that to get 12, let's just say he got 20.
It was
Let's say
worth it.
okay, yes, it was to put your name, but let's just say he got 25. I'm gonna bump it up. I'm gonna bump it up. Give him a half
Ain't no
more.
need to bump it up. 14 million. I'll put like
I'm
this. If
just
you
saying
put
I'm gonna
14
bump it.
million dollars, if you put $14
I'm
million
gonna
dollars in
bump
a
it up to prove my point. Let's say he
go ahead.
got 25 for
Go ahead.
fighting the face of boxing. Tank is about to get more than that for fighting a lump. A lump. A guy that can't spell boxing. He don't know a left hook from a fish hook. And you want it's
You
nothing to even talk about, man. There's nothing even to talk about. Go get the 50. If the reports are true and Tank is getting 50 million and Bud only got 12 for fighting the face of boxing, there's nothing to even talk about, bro. It's nobody gives a shit about that legacy shit, man. Not in today's age. The fans don't care. Like my man said, they sheep. They sheep, man.
I
Go
might.
get the
Well,
money.
clearly, I'm the biggest sheep out here because I care about all that shit.
But
I care about it.
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. I want to switch and we're gonna get back to that. 'Cause I know Dub got some more boxing. But I want to ask you something before we finish with that. So in Cleveland, man, we've had a 45% increase in violent crimes between kids 15 to 25. There's also been a rash of increased violence in Chicago. We're seeing violence with young people at a rate we haven't seen since before 1991. So, what do you think is contributing to kids being so violent, and what do you think that does?
Oh, man, I would think social media, man, and just the way the country is divided now. I would think. I
Hmm.
mean, my kids play. A lot of my kids are grown now. My youngest is 13, but man, just being around kids now that a lot of them just don't have respect. I hear white kids say nigga. I hear Mexicans say nigga. I hear and back when I was growing up, that was a flagrant foul. Right away.
Hmm.
You couldn't even utter those words and not be black. And I
Hmm.
just think it's a lack of respect. I think social media plays a big part in just violence as well. The influence. It's not a lot of stuff the kids have to look up to that's positive, and I think it also starts in the home, man. You got to know what's going on. Even when my son sometimes, which is rare, he wants to go outside and play. And I'm on his head like, bro, it's 8 o'clock. It's time to come home. You're like, you 13, bro. You ain't nothing going on out there that you don't need to be. So I think it starts at home. I think social media definitely the way social media is set up now today. I think that plays a major part. I think it's a copycat. Um, it's a copycat world. A copycat America. I would like to say you got one disturbed person shoots up a school, another person is disturbed, he want to go shoot up a school. We are the only country that have mass murder school shootings. And I think there's a gun problem in this country. I think that it shouldn't be easier to get a gun than it is to get a driver's license. I think that's a problem. I'm not saying take people's guns, but like I just said, it shouldn't be easier to get a gun than it is to get a driver's license or a passport, man. That is a critical problem. We have more guns in this country than we have people. And that's a problem. And nobody fights no more, man. When I was growing up as a kid, I would fight some of my closest friends, and we'd be boys the next day. We'd dap it up. That was just a honor. But nowadays, man, it's like right away people are shooting. There's no respect for women, and a lot of that starts, like I said, social media, the media, and a lot of that starts at home as well, man. What you instilling in your kids, how you raising them, what type of environments you keep them in, and that kind of stuff. It's sad the way this country is nowadays, man. And it's sad. And I read the reports, I see the shit, kids going missing, and just the racism, just everything. The country's just so divided now, and that's unfortunately that's really sad, man.
Speaking of that, let me ask you this, because you've been through a lot of ups and downs in your life, and how were you able to navigate the worst moment in your life when you felt like everything was over, there was no way for you to get it? How were you able to get past your worst day?
My spirituality, man. Believing in God. Also, my kids. They were my motivation. It wasn't even boxing. It mainly was just my spirituality. My beliefs, and putting my trust in God and believing He could bring me out of every situation. And then after that, I just leaned on my kids and wanted to provide them and be there because I grew up without a dad. So I always thought that was important, even though when me and their mom ended, I always thought it was important, for me to continue to be a consistent parent and a consistent figure in their lives. So I stayed consistent, bro. When we was divorced, I was the father going to court trying to get his kid, like, you gonna let me see my kids. I'm not gonna be no weekend daddy. I'm gonna have my kids half the time, and I was granted joint custody of them. So I was just, that's to me is important. If you and a kid, especially a young man, both kids, if you got a daughter, they need their fathers to teach them how a man should treat them. And if you have a son, they need their father to teach them how to be a man. That's very important. And I don't rock with people. I don't rock none of my boys. I don't rock with dudes, man, that don't take care of their kids. That's a big red flag for me. Cause if you don't take care of your kids and we out doing some dirt and some shit go down, I know you'll turn on me quick. You don't even take care of your own goddamn kids, man. You don't even take care of your kids,
No, man.
man. I know you turning me in, man. He had it, man. He got it on him right now. Oh shit.
So speaking of that, I like to go to different places and talk to some of the young men. So if there's a young man who say he just got out of prison and he's trying to get into boxing, what would be some advice you would give him to kind of get into the sport and how to keep him motivated? What's some advice you would give on that?
Man, just work. Mainly, what I tell people is just if you're gonna commit to the sport, you got to commit to it 24/7. An old timer told me when I was young in my career, you can't be a part time fighter. You can't part time. Part time means when you're in camp, you don't drink, you don't smoke, you don't do drugs, you don't hang out, you don't do none of that. But out of camp, you drinking, you smoking, you partying, you're doing all kind of shit. You can't be a part time fighter, and I hate, man, to say names, but y'all know, man. We just saw him on the interview, and
Don't
that
do it.
that
Don't do it.
that
Hey,
was
shout out to AB, man. Shout out to
yeah,
AB. Don't
that
do it,
was
man.
and he always showed me love. He showed my family love, and he just crashing out. And I hate to see him like that, but he was one. He was that part time fighter that I was talking, and he had all the money in the world, and he just never knew when to cut the act off, because he's nothing like that. I just don't know if you talk to him out. I'd like in the gym or something, or in a setting that doesn't warrant no type of publicity. He's nothing like the shit that you hear on TV or you see in interviews. He's nothing like that, bro. So I when I saw that interview, I was sad for him because he's just never cut it off. It's like he's always in character mode. He's nothing like that, bro. And somebody really needs to sit him down, man, and just say, man, you tripping.
Have
We
you
had
reached out to him at all?
I was gonna say real quick. We had a conversation about this. So we get a chance to rock with you. Shout out to my brother B. We get a chance to rock with him. We ain't never had a chance to rock with AB, but with you having that understanding of who he really is, have you reached out and say, hey, bro, come on, man? You like, I don't know if it's you need help. I don't know what the conversation will be, but have you reached out to
I
try to?
haven't because I wasn't in his inner circle like that. It was more like passing, like we would show love and stuff like same like Ward, I was Ward was always around me and around not me, just he was around the team because I spent a lot of camps. I spent probably like 3 or 4 camps with Diego Corrales. So I would see Ward at like boxing events and fights, and I would always wonder who he was, and I never knew who he was. Like, man, who is this kid? And then I've come to find out he was trying out for the Olympics, and then he went and won Olympic gold, and I ended up figuring out who he was. And it's always just a mutual respect. But can I call Andre Ward right now? Absolutely not. I'm not in his circle, but there's always a mutual respect there. So AB's nothing like the act that you see off camera. He's nothing like that. So I don't even know. He just never cut it off, man. Like he just never. Nobody has told him like, bro, chill, man. Like it's over. It's over, bro. Like you can cut the shit off now. Like you don't need to act no more. That's not who you are. Cut the shit off. Like the act is over, man. He's still, and it's sad. It's sad, man. Everything that has kind of happened to him in his career is just. I think about the Rock Nation deal when he turned that down. It's just a lot of stuff that has transpired in his career, man. Is pretty sad, and that's another thing, that we get back on that. When Rock Nation offered him that money, he
$30
deemed
million.
$30 million. He deemed that disrespectful. But it's the same thing I'm talking about with this Tank shit. It's where are them people at now? The people that he was fighting and making all the money and the all the money that was made off of AB. Where are those people now? Has anybody that was in that inner circle, has anybody called AB and actually made sure he was all right? That's the question. Not if I've called him because I wasn't in the circle. I just know him because he's been in the gym a couple times and he saw my family out in the street one time. He showed them love and has always shown me love and been respectful. And I'll talk to him in training camp a couple times. But the people that's in that circle need to actually sit him down and talk to him, man.
Something gotta happen.
I'll say this,
Something gotta
man.
happen.
It's something I brought up, and people kind of got upset for me saying this, but one thing I could tell you is it's sad to always see these guys when they're alive, breathing, and doing their thing and in living color. No one wants to say nothing until they're in the casket,
And right. I
and that's
tell
the
people,
part that's
yeah,
crazy.
I tell people all the time, don't give me my fucking flowers when I'm dead, man. Give them to me now, or if there's a problem now, tell me now. Don't wait till I'm fucking dead and don't give me the flowers then, motherfucker. I'm dead. I can't appreciate them. Shit. Motherfucker, give them to me now. If if there's some type of mutual respect, or you felt like I did something positive, or don't wait till I die to speak at my funeral and give me my flower. Give me them motherfuckers now. Let me have them now. And them people don't need to wait till we need reading about AB and overdosed or he didn't drunk. Go get that man some help, man. Go get that man some sincere help. Because the shit I saw in that video, like that's crazy, bro. Like he's still in character. He's still in character. Like it doesn't stop. And it's just like that wasn't the setting for it, man. That it wasn't the setting for it. And I hate to see it. I really hate to see it, man.
But all we seeing is real life. Just be honest. In real life, nobody, especially for men, jump in front of nothing for men. If you get sick and you go in the hospital, your family and her family is gonna help your wife out. They be like, man, 'cause she got carried the load, why he died. But if it's the other way around, they saying you got to figure out your own load. The wife going to hospital, her family, your family, they be like, man, you the man in your house, you the one got to figure that out. Only reason we giving it this much attention is because it's Adrian Bronner and we see him as a public figure. But you know how many of our neighborhoods got 1,000 Adrian Bronners that we
Oh
walk
man,
past every day and
1,000.
don't give a second thought to it, and don't
Mm-hmm.
give a second thought to it? Look how
That's
many
right.
people us personally know, people who on social media, they'll say happy birthday, Lil Wayne, and it's 10 million people saying that. But they didn't tell you happy birthday on your birthday, but when they needed $20, they called you and say, hey bro, can you help me out? I need $20.
Hell yeah.
Don't act like we blind to that. Like that's real.
Right.
We get the celebrity off. But Ishe Smith was a world champion. But you know how many years Ishe Smith was Ishe Smith before he became a world champion? You know how many motherfuckers didn't give a fuck about Ishe Smith or his family before he became a world champion? You know how many people who never met him was like, champ, you my man, happy birthday, after he became a world champion? I mean, we acting like it's something new to see somebody like this. It's not new. We walk past 1,000 Adrian Bronners every day in our own neighborhood, in our own cities, and we don't give them a second thought.
Yeah. But you know what, with celebrity, with status, whether that's sports, acting, what schooling, anything it could be, you have a bigger responsibility. So he built that profile up himself, and now everything he does, negative or positive, is going to be in the limelight. And unfortunately, this country loves to tear the black man down when they're in the negative limelight, and nobody tears the black man down better than the black man himself. So we'll speak about our own. They don't got to speak about us. We'll speak about our own before they speak about us. So
But the
I
negative
hope.
limelight is what put him in the mix.
Right.
When Adrian Bronner was just Adrian Bronner, nobody gave a damn when he beat Jason Litzau, who was supposed to have been the man that AB was supposed to lose to him.
Mhm.
AB was Adrian Bronner until he saw that nobody wants the clean cut kid to be the person they love. They have deemed us to be Darth Vader. So
Yeah,
he
but he
understood.
was,
He understood
but
the assignment. AB
right.
understood the assignment, and that's the way he got his
But they was,
situation.
but our own was hating on him when he was like that. There was a lot of black people that couldn't stand AB.
But but listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying, Ishe. Before he became AB, he was Adrian Bronner. They didn't give a damn about Adrian Bronner, who was a pro and winning. It wasn't until he put on the persona of AB, the craziness, the buffoonery, the wild shit, that we even gave a damn about him.
That's right, but at some point you got to turn it off.
But why? Well,
It's
listen to
got
what I'm saying. No,
you
no,
got
no.
to turn it
I'm
off.
not saying why. I'm not saying why in a bad way. I'm saying why in the sense of, it's like an old Jerry Lewis movie when he was Nutty Professor. He said, "I'd rather be king for a day than schmuck for a lifetime."
Mm.
Adrian Bronner seen what it was like being king for a day. His day lasted long. And guess what? He's not going back to what he was, even if that would be the better of the situation. That doesn't even make sense. We're asking people to do something different than what
But
got in the
he
eye.
he took it a little too far, man, because the
But he
acting was
took it too
one,
far before.
but
He took it
but
too far when he was in his prime.
yeah, but the acting was one thing. I thought it was funny when he was brushing his hair, when he was
Yeah,
saying anybody can get it, Mexicans, Africans.
correct. He
I
already
thought,
had went too far.
yeah, I thought it was a little bit over the top then, but where it
But we
went too
laughed
far,
at it and we wanted
yeah,
it. We
yeah,
laughed and wanted it.
But that persona,
It's no different.
that persona sold and that stuck. Where AB messed up is when he started drinking and doing other shit that had nothing to do with that persona. It
But
had
he was
nothing to
doing
do.
that. But he was doing that before.
When he was
He
in
was
his
doing that.
prime and he was fighting
He was
motherfuckers,
doing that.
he wasn't
He was
drinking like
doing
that.
that.
He wasn't
No,
drinking like that.
listen, like that and drinking, he was still doing it.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, when you look at it, you remember years ago we used to have a TV show called Kung Fu.
Yeah.
Remember that show? David Carradine is a complete white man that convinced us and himself he was Asian, and to this very day, he still portrays and lives in the character of an Asian man. But he's not. But he realized nobody gave a damn about David Carradine, the stage actor, but they did give a damn about David Carradine Kung Fu. It's the same thing. It doesn't change. It's I like it. Look at Floyd. Floyd Mayweather Jr. But before the Olympics, he changed his name. Then when he turned pro, he was Floyd Mayweather Jr. Made some money. Then he was the pretty boy Floyd, made some money. Then he was Money Mayweather, made some money. Then he was TBE. Every metamorphosis got better. Do you think TBE would ever go back to being Floyd Joy?
No. But he earned
Because
the
it
right.
don't make sense.
He
Because
earned
it
the
don't
right.
make sense.
Yeah, he earned the right to be. But see,
No. I'm not talking about the right that earned. I'm talking
but
about the logic of what each
okay.
metamorphosis did for him.
But you know what was the difference between that metamorphosis and AB's? I'm gonna give you the number one difference. The metamorphosis was for his career and it took him places. Each metamorphosis he elevated and he stayed consistent and the same. He talked shit, he was brash, he was everything than what he was supposed to be. And you know, he did a little time for a little crime, which people eat it up when the black man falls and then the black man picks himself up. They hate when we rise up. He did all that. But you know where he stayed consistent at? He never cheated the game. And that's
And
the, and that
I'm agreeing with
and
you.
that's the total
I'm,
difference between him and AB. AB cheated the game, man. He started drinking, and I don't know if he did drugs, but he just started drinking way too much, bro.
but
Way too much.
I'm agreeing with you. The point I'm trying to make is, when your metamorphosis gets you to where you want to be or not be, take the money away from the concept, take all that away, just take the popularity piece and keep it. Adrian Bronner never had that. AB did. Floyd Joy didn't have that. TBE did. They're not going back to somewhere that they wanted to get away from. It doesn't go in reverse. And when you go forward, if you like, or if you are where you are at your best point, you got to take the good part of it with the bad part of
I
it. Floyd,
understand that. I understand what you're saying. The problem is if the good part, right, if that's propelling you to the level that you are boxing wise, and then you have the bad part that's or that's stifling you from being the great that got you to where you were at, then you do have you need to take that away. And I
but
believe
but
respect. Hold on, real quick. Respectfully, I think what Ishe is saying in this situation, and I don't want to speak for the brother. He can speak for his damn self. I say that respectfully. All I'm saying is when the man started drinking and doing the things that he was, yeah, he had the limelight, but he also took that limelight and got outside of what the boxer AB was. He got outside
and
of that.
I'm agreeing with you, but
And them
only thing I'm
guys,
saying,
that
when we
whole
saw
crew.
him at that point, when we realize a person is alcoholic, when we see it. But that person been an alcoholic
Nobody,
way
no,
before.
nobody outside of the. If you're not in boxing like that, no. But when he said Mexicans, nobody thought he was on alcohol or doing
No,
drugs. Nobody thought
no,
that.
but listen, but he was already overboard, and You didn't have to think it, but he
I didn't
already
I didn't
was.
I didn't think he was overboard during that point. I thought he was selling himself and he was doing a good job at selling himself and being a villain. Some people hated him, some people liked him.
Hey,
What
hey, you right.
what what killed him is when he start going. I always tell people, well, I just told y'all, when they ask for the advice about somebody getting out of jail, you can't cheat the game. You can't be a part-time
Hey,
fighter. When he became a part-time fighter, that persona and shit was out the window because you
I'm
can't
with
you
Ishe,
can
I'm with
you
you.
can cheat a lot of shit. You can Mike. I hear stories Michael Jordan be up drinking and doing all kind of shit and go out and bust your ass for 30, 40 points. But you cannot cheat this game. You can't. It will
I'm
get
not.
your ass and it will humble you real quick. And that whole clique really got humble outside of what they was doing to their body. That whole clique, all of them, you think about it.
Who was the clique? Who was the clique that you said?
The
Talking about
Charlo,
Bunny and all them.
the Charlo brothers, EJ, all of that clique.
Bunny, yeah.
The PBC crew, respectfully.
Not all of them, just
Not
that
all
whole,
on PBC.
just that clique was always doing a little shit that I know outside of boxing that had nothing to do with boxing. Great fighters, all of them, but they started becoming part-time fighters and abusing their bodies outside of what they should have been doing. And God saved DJ when he got in that accident.
Shout out to
But
EJ.
yeah, but that was man, those guys
It
just
was the beginning of the downfall for him.
they just drinking too much, man. They just like I said, I
And
can't comment
I,
on anything else as far as drugs and all that, but for a fact, them guys, I would see them guys loaded at camps.
I don't know how long we got you, so I wanna move it back to actual the sport real quick if y'all don't mind. I want to ask you this: Devin Haney versus Brian Norman Jr. We got that fight coming up. We got Anthony Yard versus David Benavidez. What do you think about those two fights? How do you see them playing out?
Devin has his hands full
Hey,
just
hey, I'm gonna tell you now. I'm a Georgia boy. You know
for
what I'm saying?
sure.
So
He got
you know I'm rocking with Junior in this one. My
yeah,
brother
Brian. Yeah,
BBO said I'm
Brian.
wrong.
Brian Norman is the truth. I just don't. I don't. It's just been a lot of and Devin's. I've been knowing Devin since he was a kid, and
I
he's
love Devin. I'm a
and
fan.
he and he's surpassed what even I imagine his career will be, and he'll be in the Hall of Fame whether these fans like it or not. He'll be in the Hall of
Absolutely,
Fame
absolutely.
one day. So he's had a great career, but I don't know if he
He
has the
only 20. He only 27. What you mean? He still got time.
because I just don't know if he's you know I don't know if he got the right team around him that can perfect him to work on the things he needs to work on, man. And I don't know that. We'll find out this fight because he has his hands full with this opponent. That dude. Remember, I told you you look at people and you be like, man, that motherfucker can go. He the truth. I look at him like that. I look at Brian Norman like that. I like, man, that motherfucker the truth. He can fight, man. That motherfucker good, and he's one of those guys. So he has his hand full. He has a mixture of power and speed and boxing ability, and he definitely has his hands full. And if Devin was to pull this one out, man, that would be to me that would even be greater than him beating Ryan Garcia or would have beat Garcia because this kid can fight, man. He's a good fighter, man. So that's a tough fight. And then the Yardy thing, man, I think Benavidez is gonna tear his ass up. It's just it's levels, and I just don't think Yardy on that level.
So speaking of, go ahead,
go
Deb.
ahead.
My bad. No, go ahead, Deb. I was gonna say simply is Devin's not gonna walk to Brian. He's not. But go ahead.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. He
But
get,
we
but
understand.
my thing is the defense well enough to is it well enough to Brian Norman can punch. So is it and I think he might be he's probably stronger, not faster, but he's stronger than Ryan Garcia. So He can punch. So is the defense well enough that you can evade or take those shots for 12 rounds? And that's the that's going to be the problem. That's going to be the problem because early in his career, it was always like he would get rocked and we'll be like, oh, he rebounded and stuff like that. But then he fought Ryan Garcia, even though I hammered Ryan Garcia for being juiced up and all of that, but you still got hit with that same hook over and over again. So, and then the last fight, it was good, but you looked a little timid. So I don't know, man. This is a tough fight. I can't I can't pick a winner. I could just say he has his hands full, man. He has his hands full, and I just hope he got the right team around him that's really teaching him. When you jab, keep the right hand on the side of your face, keep your hands up, and really teaching him how to work on his craft and perfect his craft. So, at this level, he don't get clipped with something.
So speaking of that, I think one thing, and I want to bring about it. I just want to bring this one question in. If Devin would have knocked out the cook from Japan, they would have said it was a cherry pick. That's nothing. But because we like Brian Norman Jr., or as Dub call him Jr., we want to overrate that. And I love the Normans, but Booker Chica put hands on him. Randall put hands on him. You telling me Devin Haney, the youngest undisputed champion since the great Pernell Whitaker,
Go ahead
is
and
not
call him
going
what
to
you
go
call
on
him,
there and
BVO. Call
style
him
it?
what you call him, BVO. Black
What
Jesus,
I call
right?
it? Black Jesus. Ain't that what they call it? Black
That's
Jesus.
what you call it, respectfully.
No, I don't call it
And
that. That's what the people call it. So you think he gonna go in there with Black Jesus and win this fight? Come on. We seen this fight before. Did you not see Floyd versus Otero Gotti? He gonna style on this dude. He gonna
Who's
Brian,
style on
Arturo
Big
Gotti?
Norman.
come on, man, stop that. I think Brian
Oh
Norman.
my Ishe,
I
you
think. I
see it.
think. I
Ishe,
think.
come
hold
on,
on, let the
man.
man.
It's
Hold on,
me,
let him.
baby.
Hold on,
Don't do
I
BVO.
that.
don't.
You
I
out of
don't.
order.
I
Hold on,
think.
BVO. You out of order. Let the man give his
I
opinion.
think Brian Norman is a little bit better, and I love Gotti, and I think rest in peace. I think Brian Norman is a little bit better at this stage than what Brian Norman is a little bit better than what at this stage than what Gotti was. I don't know, and I don't think respectfully, I definitely don't think Devin is compared to that pretty boy Floyd that fought Gotti. Floyd would have beat anybody that night, and that was when he didn't get hit at all. And I think the only thing that's been lacking out of his arsenal is the fact that he does tend to get hit a little bit too much. So um that pretty boy was special. So what he did to Gotti, I don't think Devin's going to do that to Norman. And it's not just the fights. I mean, I've talked to people that were there when Brian Norman sparred Terrence Crawford. They've been around him a lot and the fights. So it's a combination of what I've heard he's been able to do in the gym and what I've seen in his fights. The kid can fight. It's a real test. That's why I really can't pick a winner. The kid can fight, and like I said, if Devin can pull this out, I think it's a even bigger victory than what Ryan Garcia would have been because the kid is a true welterweight. He's very good. He's strong. He can box a little bit and he can fight. Man, it's a very tough opponent.
And
So
guess what happened to Ishe? Guess what happened when Devin wins, right? They're gonna say he didn't fight nobody. That
no,
was
he
an
not.
easy win.
I don't think.
No,
I don't think
when
he gonna.
Devin
They
go in
gonna
there and
say that.
wash it, when Devin go in there and wipe his work boots off on him,
I
y'all
don't
gonna be
think they're
like,
gonna say that. I think they're gonna give him credit. The
It's
guy's
gonna
a
be an upset.
the guy's a champion as well, so I think they're gonna give him the credit, man. I think they're gonna 100% give him the credit. I would definitely give him the credit if he beats Norman because I do think it's a tall tree to climb, man. I think it's a tough one, and I think for the majority, if you took 10 boxing fans and you asked them who gonna win, probably 7 of them will say Norman. So that's a
see what
they
you
would.
just did? You just said it
Yeah.
right there. You said it earlier. They never
Yeah,
want to get a black man a chance. He the
they
same with
both
They both black.
Lomachenko.
they
They
both
both
He was
black.
BBO,
black,
there with
man.
BBO, cut,
They
Lomachenko.
knock
both
it off,
black.
bro.
Black.
He
They
was
both
there with
black.
Knock it off,
Lomachenko.
BBO.
Hold on.
Ishe, you
Ishe.
see what I have to deal with on a
Hold on.
daily
Ishe.
basis? This is what I got
This
to
is me,
deal with
baby.
right
This
here.
is me. think about this. They said that Lomachenko was better than Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard, better
I
than all
agree
these
with
guys,
you.
right?
I
And
agree
Devin
with
went
you.
in there and won a close fight.
And we gave him credit for it.
Gave him credit.
When he go
I
in there
never.
and beat Brian Norman,
I was.
y'all gonna say he didn't beat Godzilla.
I was never sold on Lomachenko after he lost to Salido, bro. I didn't know why they was hyping that man up like he was this, like he was that. I thought he was a good fighter. He was fighting tough guys early in his career, and I respected that. But when they lost me, it was and they started, he the best since this. I was out of bit. And then when Salido beat him, I was like, bro, he lost. What are we even talking about here? He fucking lost. So I was never on that hype train. Devin did beat him hands down, but Lomachenko ain't punching like Norman, bro. He's not. And Norman is the bigger guy.
And,
It's
No,
and
he's
it's
Norman the
not.
best welterweight out there
yeah.
right now.
No, he's
Norman
not the
definitely
bigger
was the
guy. Did you
bigger
see
guy.
how little he looked when he was standing next to Devin?
hold on,
I
real
thought
quick.
Devin bought his little brother when he came.
I got one more question, real
Go
quick.
ahead.
I got one more question, because I done been rocking with Devin, and I'm always rock with Devin. Win, lose, or draw, I'm gonna rock with him. I'm gonna rock with Junior. I'm gonna rock with both of them simply because I've always been a fan of both of them, and that's how I look at the sport. But when it comes down to size, even like BVO want to bring this up, saying that Devin gonna be the bigger guy. I don't think Devin, man. I think Junior got the longer reach. I think they're damn. I think Junior 5'8", Devin 5'9". I think that's very close. I think Junior punching. I think he cracking more than Devin is. I think Devin is a better boxer. I think Junior have underrated footwork though. I think that the footwork is going to be what really lends to him having to cut the ring off and making it a fight. And I think he's going to be able to do that. And once he does that, it's going to be a tough fight for Devin. That's my opinion. I could be wrong about it, but at the same time, I'm just happy that these guys are fighting each other at a young age and getting it in because who knows how this fight plays out. We may be able to get a rematch in this situation. You know what I'm saying? Depending on how the fight play out. So at the end of the day, all I'm saying is that I think Junior is being underestimated in the fight, especially by BVO, respectfully. And if BVO, I gotta say this to you, Ishe, excuse me. I gotta say this. If BVO pick that, if it's a big fight and BVO pick it, you need to go against it.
Hey, don't listen to this. What he looking? This is what he waiting for, Isha. This is what he waiting on. Hold on one second. This is what he waiting
I'm ready for that full cheese Whopper.
Last
Don't
question.
listen to him, man. You ain't on that full cheese.
Last question from me. Last question. What did you think about Bud versus Canelo as far as that fight go, how it played out? BVO, he'll tell you that Bud ran the entire time. I didn't see Bud running at all.
I ain't say that. This guy.
You definitely said that. You ain't never said that?
It was 115, 113. Go ahead, man.
I thought a part of me didn't know how Crawford was gonna handle the weight. So part of me always felt like in the back of my head that it was gonna be too much weight and that Canelo would edge him out off the weight if he could catch him. But I always told when people were asking me who to bet on, I told them Crawford. I said if I was a betting man, I would bet on Crawford because he's plus money and Canelo always has a problem with black slick fighters. And Bud is black and he's slick and he switches. I say he's the best switch fighter since Marvin Hagler that I've ever seen in my life. And if I was a betting man, I would bet on Bud. That's just the truth. I said, but a part of me is wondering how he would deal with 68, but he handled it well. I wasn't surprised with the outcome because, like I said, if I was going to put a lot of money on the fight, I was betting on Bud because Canelo's always had a problem with black slick fighters. Always. That's his Achilles heel.
Champ, let me ask you this. Now, I know you're a historian just like me in boxing. Did you see the Felix Trinidad fight versus Bernard Hopkins?
Absolutely.
So we know power don't mean nothing when we talking. Matter of fact, it's late now. I'm gonna let it cuss for a second. Power don't mean shit when we talking about boxing. So you trying to tell me Devin Haney gonna let a guy who only chance is to hit him with a left hand from hell? That's his only chance. He can't outbox him. He's not bigger. He's not
That's not his
stronger.
only chance. That's why you
Hold on,
gotta
hold
watch.
on, hold on. I'm talking to the champ.
But
Hey,
you
champ,
lying. But you lying to the
champ.
people.
I'm talking
You're
to the
lying
champ.
to the people.
Champ, you hear this guy, man? Champ, you hear this
Stop
guy?
lying to the people. That's
Shout
not
out to
his
Ronald
only way to
Roberts, man.
victory.
Hold on. Shout out to Ronald Roberts, man. You hear how he talking to me, champ? Because I'm black. See, the black man get no respect.
See,
Like I said,
I'm gonna let you finish this because I know where you're going with it. So I'm gonna answer your question. I know where you're already going with it, and I felt like that as well for you. I felt like that because we know, and I felt the same way you feel until the Ryan Garcia fight. How many times was you gonna let that man hit you with the same punch? And I get it, he was juice, but again, he still landed the punch over and over and over and over again. At some point, what part of put your right hand up, put your hands up, and catch the punch was that going to come into play? So I feel you, but I felt like that going into the Garcia fight, and outside of him being doped up, I mean, he kept getting hit with the same shit over and over again. So that's why I said this fight is telling because Brian Norman is a very good fighter. And you notice I said Devin can go, but it's going to be has he corrected those mistakes and what type of team he has around. That's what I'm worried about. Not really can Devin beat him. I think if Devin's on his A game, it's a very tough fight for Norman. I just don't know how much has changed because the last fight didn't show me much. You know, all he did was really much box, 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 move, 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 move. I just don't know when he gets hit by a true welterweight, is he going to be able to take the punch, number one? And did he really work on his defense? He kept getting hit with the same shot over and over and over and over again. And that we all know that's all Ryan Garcia has. If it's anything that Devin should have been prepared for that fight, it was the left hook. If it's any punch, I would have rather seen him get hit with a right hand and be like, oh shit, he got clipped, he got caught. But dog, he kept getting hit with the same hook over and over again.
Yo,
So
Ishe.
that's what
Not only
we're
not only that, Ishe, every time we've seen Devin Haney hurt, it's involved the left hook, whether it's the beginning of the combination or the end of it. The man can't get away from a left hook. And B Norman punching strong with both hands. So listen, I don't know why BVO and this underdog stuff. Maybe he got a movie coming out we don't know about. But I wanted to ask you this, Ishe. I wanted to ask you this. What sparring stories can you give us? Because you know how they always be like, oh, gentleman's agreement lay. That stuff is a thing of the past. With technology now, what sparring story? Because you know Nate Jones got his own show as well, and he was talking about Floyd sparring Spence. What sparring stories can you give us in the doghouse of somebody getting dogged?
oh man, shit. I just got there's so many, man. I'm trying to
Give us that
think.
exclusive. Give us something nobody know.
I'm trying to think, man. I gotta really think.
What come to my mind is when they did that 24/7 where Hakeem Rockman, nah, you a Rockman. We don't get stopped in the sparring session. But what's one that we don't know about?
Floyd had some great sessions in the doghouse. A lot of great sessions. I didn't see the Peterson sessions. I didn't see those. I didn't see the Spatafora session either. Um, but I know he has some good sessions. Rounds are long in the doghouse though, so a round may be 10 minutes. You know, with the heat blasting in there, so that could be one round. Floyd didn't spar your typical 3 minute rounds. His round could range anywhere from 5 minutes to 10 minutes to 15 minutes for one round, and that's what it was when he paid you. Um,
Did
I'm
Floyd ever take a time out and be like, hold up, man, these young people, I gotta get out the sport, man. Did he ever get whooped on in the doghouse?
I never really nah. I mean, he was pretty much on point, man. He was pretty much he was pretty much accurate. And it's hard to tell, man, because those are like the only time I would really shit on somebody is if they came out and shitted on me or something, and I'll be like, wait a minute, bro. Let me tell this sparring story of how it really how what really happened. I try to keep sparring mostly confidential as much as possible, unless, like I said, But I've had seen some great sparring over the years, man. Sparring Pernell Whitaker. I sparred Pernell Whitaker late. I helped him get ready for Trinidad. Um
What was
shit.
that like? Could you lay a
That was
hand on him?
that was great because he was older So he was sitting down on his punches more. So I can only imagine what he was like younger, because he still had pop. You know, he was still good and flashy, but he just couldn't move as much as he did when he was younger. That was great. Um,
So you say when he had power, he like put you in your pockets or
no, he just had good
oh okay.
pop. Like he had good pop, being that his timing was good. Sometimes you don't need to be a knockout puncher to hurt somebody, because you could just tell he had good pop, being that he was able to find you.
He
You
was
know,
sharp. He was
yeah, he
sharp.
was sharp. That's what the word I'm looking for. He was sharp, man. Being that if you make a mistake, he can hit you. Same with like Floyd, same thing. Floyd was real sharp. Vernon was just real strong. Vernon had the best jab I've ever sparred with. 100%. He had the best jab. Shane was really fast. Um, but those guys, I remember just being in camp with those guys, and I was the chief sparring partner, and I'll be begging for more rounds. Just asking, come on, man, let's go more rounds. And they'll be like, nah, man, nah, just four with you, champ. Four, just four. We're just giving you 4 rounds. That's it with you, youngsters. Just four. That's it. 4 or 6. But I'll be asking them guys for more rounds. Floyd was hard to figure out, because he's like playing a master chess player, and he knows your moves. Like he anticipates your moves 2 steps ahead of what you're doing. So I had some really good session with him, because it make you think. He makes you think more than anybody. Shane was more just a straight out just. I felt I think out of all the camps I had with Start, I think that was one of the better ones. I really think I was having some good ass work with Shane, man. I really do. I was getting him ready for the second De La Hoya fight, and yeah, I was really get having a. I was like, man, this shit was. I was on for that one. I was had been in a few camps. I knew what to expect going to Big Bear, and I felt like that was one of my better ones, man. The Vernon
And
was
go ahead.
one good too. The Vernon one was good too, but that one was real good, man.
You
Champ,
also sparred
I gotta ask you. I gotta ask you about the. I gotta ask you about two fighters real quick, champ. So, and they brothers. You know what I'm saying? You got Mr. Gary Russell. I want to know your thoughts on Miss. And shout out to my sister Shawa. She wanted me to ask this question. I want to know about what you thought about the Loma Mr. Gary Russell fight, and the second piece to that. What do you, because Antoine will be fighting on the undercard of Tank Davis and Jake Paul. Antoine Russell, he'll be fighting that. We know that his brother, you know what I'm saying, Mr. Gary, now that they've rest in peace to their father, he trains them now. What did you think about Mr. Gary versus Loma? And what do you think about Antoine as a fighter today?
I think Antoine is a good fighter. I thought the Russells were, especially Gary. I really thought he was going to really change the sport. And I just think inactivity, man. I thought inactivity
What
is
do you
what
think about him and Loma?
I did think it was cool, but that fight was a while ago, so if I remember it well, I thought Loma beat him. Um, I didn't think he did enough. But I just didn't. With him, I always felt like it was just inactivity, because Gary was like high, even in the amateurs. Like he was like a high prospect. He was a high professional, and I just don't think he was active enough, man. And that was the thing. That came to be the thing with a lot of those PBC fighters, over the years. And that was even when I was like with Mayweather and fighting. We would fight on PBC shows as well. It's just they had so many fighters. It was hard to keep everybody active,
Right.
and I think they just oversaturated the product. They came out just a little bit. They had all that money. They came out with that big production, lights and shit everywhere, and just they spent so much money on that, and then they were paying guys a shitload of money. And then they just kept signing and signing and signing. And then when you sign so many fighters, You got to keep them busy. Then they were signing, young prospects, and they got to keep them. It was just hard to keep everybody busy. So I think, now I think he fell a victim of that. I think the Charlos fell a victim of that. I think EJ fell a bit victim of that inactivity, and I just think you're
No,
inactive.
EJ like that bottle, man. I think EJ felt
We ain't
that
gonna
Yo,
bottle.
disrespect
No, we
EJ.
yo,
being honest.
We're
We
not
being
gonna
honest.
disrespect the
yo,
man.
Ishay,
That's not disrespect.
do
That's
you
the
think,
truth.
Ishay,
Real
do you
quick.
think it's a
Hold on. Let me.
product?
Hold on. I want to answer the second piece of it. Have you seen Hiroka fight? First off, that's who Antoine will be fighting. Have you seen Hiroka fight, and how do you see that fight playing out? And
I
then go
haven't
ahead.
seen I haven't seen Hiroka fight. I don't even know who the hell that is,
He's a
but
bum, man.
I did see Gary's fight, either the last fight or the fight before last, and he looks real good. Not Gary, Antoine, and he looks real good. He looks
Someone
real
versus
good.
El Rayo.
The one is that the one he won the title?
He didn't
Yeah,
fight. Nah.
Yeah, he looked good.
What?
yeah, he fought El Rayo. What you talking about?
Yeah, you're right.
Oh yeah, he did. That's the fight I saw.
You're
Yeah,
right.
he looked good that fight. He looked good that
Yeah, I
fight.
don't know
That's
what
the
Dub
fight I
was
saw.
talking about.
No, I said you're right. I said you're right. I
Oh,
agree
okay.
with you. I was out of order. Go ahead,
Yo,
Scholar.
yo, Ishay, do you think that them oversigning people and people blackballing them, because PBC is the only promotional group that got hit with the Muhammad Ali Act from other promoters. And remember, they were saying they was paying fighters too much and stuff like that. And now that Turkey Al-Rashid is moving on to boxing, you see Bob Arum coming out because he ain't got no home. He's saying, "Well, I'll work with Al Heyman now." Do you think part of it was oversaturating the market, but also the other promoters not working with? Because there's been a lot of companies that try to do boxing promotion and they fail. Even Jay-Z, he a billionaire. He didn't have success in boxing.
No, he didn't. Magic Johnson too. Magic Johnson tried to dab in boxing some years ago. You can look that one up.
hmm
I think for I think they just came out honestly, man, I think they just came out a little too arrogant. I think every promoter has some arrogance, but I think you can't have I don't you can't have so much arrogance that it fucks up your bottom line. And your bottom line is to make money, to build up fighters, and to give to give the fans the best fight. That's your bottom line. And I think when they kept playing with the EJ and Terrence Crawford, when they couldn't make a deal for that, and just over the years, the countless not making fights with each other's not working with each other, and all of that, it's just it just hurt the sport in the long run, and it hurt it when you sign a whole bunch of fighters and they're all kind of the same weight and they're all they all got minimums and they got to get paid, and it's hard to keep all of them. It's not enough dates, so you can't keep them all active. So you had champions fighting once a year, twice a year, and when I was coming up, you had champions fighting 3 times a year. They'll get in at least 3 fights, and when you have a fighter inactive like that, it starts problems, especially the ones that don't live right. It creates problems, man, and you start seeing the accidents and the beatings when motherfuckers not living right, the domestic violence and shit. They're not active, man, and that's unfortunate. I think they just got a little too arrogant. I think they should have been willing to work with Bob Arum to try to get the best fights out there. I think Bob Arum should have been willing to work with Al Heyman and vice versa, man. It's just
But
they did it.
we done seen fighters. So Bud Crawford, but he one of them guys. He fight one time a year, right? And his last few fights, but every time he gets in the ring, he looks sharp. What do you give? Like, how do I want to ask it? Why do you think that he looks sharp compared to some of these other guys that also only fight one time a year? Because hell, to get in there with Canelo after a year layoff, that's dangerous in my personal opinion. But he made it look easy. So why do you think he had success with the layoffs versus some of these other guys?
Because I don't think he was a part-time fighter. You can tell he takes very good care of his body. He doesn't look like he doesn't look like he puts shit in his body that doesn't belong there. And it looks like he stays in the gym. You've never seen Bud, and I hate to bring him up again, but you've never seen Bud look like AB at a fight outside of a training camp. You know, you look at AB and be like, God damn, he big, you know, and you've never saw that with Bud. You see Bud, you be like, damn, he still look like he in shape. And some guys are built to be great and to want to actually do this shit, and some guys aren't. And that's no knock on them. Some guys are just in camp guys. They just want to train hard in camp. And you know, you just can't be a part-time fighter. You have
Did you
to
ever
take the kid.
did you ever get a chance to spar with Bud?
I never did. I
Okay.
never did. I would have liked to. I never did. Sparred everybody but him. I think I sparred a lot of people, man.
Yo,
Would have loved to.
yo, Ishe, I seen an interview you did a while back where you talked about you had sparred Jeff and Roger Mayweather. Did the Black Mamba really have power like that? 'Cause I heard his power legendary, where he would knocking out heavyweights and stuff like that. Because offensively, he was good.
I sparred him when I was a kid, so I'm gonna give credit and say he was one of the first professionals I sparred when I was an amateur, and I don't think he really went in there trying to knock me out. Um, Jeff, on the other hand, did. Jeff went in there trying to knock my motherfucking head off, and I had and I had to really be like, hold up, motherfuckers, wait a minute, let me get my respect. I
Hey, you
think
teach.
Roger was just more so like, let me help this kid, let me move around. Now Roger was a trip. Roger didn't play no motherfucking games. I seen Roger knock people out in the gym with gloves on, without gloves on. Like he was a trip, man. I love Roger though. I grew up with Roger and Jeff in the gyms, man. And Roger didn't play no games. In the boxing gym or just talking outside of the ring. He didn't play
Roger,
no
hey,
games.
what you say? Roger will fight your ass.
Roger will punch your ass right. Disrespect Roger in that gym, and he will punch your ass right in the gym, dog. I seen Roger knock out a lot of motherfuckers in the ring in the gym and out
Oh,
of the
so,
ring in the gym. Same
What?
motherfucking setting.
hey,
Yo, Ishe, did
hey,
he tell
hey,
him when they was
so
unconscious?
it's true. So it's true. Most folks don't know shit about boxing.
That's what I was
Most
gonna say.
folks don't know shit.
When they was
That's a
unconscious,
true
Ishe, did he
statement.
tell him? Most motherfuckers don't know. You would have died that punch if you blocked that motherfucker easy. But
Yep.
I wanted to say this,
Motherfucker.
Ishe. I want to ask you this too before because we getting ready to wrap up. I
Okay.
had two important questions I want to ask you. Because like I said, I'm a huge fan, been following you for a long time. I seen another interview you did where you was talking about Dana White being a hell of a trainer and you wanted a UFC fight. Why did that never materialize?
I don't know, man. I think see, I love Dana. You know, I remember when Dana was just a low level trainer in Vegas, just trying to make ends meet. You know, he was actually, I used to beat his amateur fighter. You know, I fought him a couple times. He came, I think his fighter came from Boston. I don't know if Dana is from Boston, but I want to think they both came from upwards of Massachusetts. His fighter name was Jimmy LeBlanc. I fought Jimmy a couple times in the amateur, beat him, used to spar him as an amateur, used to beat him up in sparring. Me and him became friends during that time. And I remember Dana just trying to, he just one of them trainers hanging out in the gym trying to make ends meet. And he's come on to be this success, you know, and just make all this money. And I just think like if you know where you come from, right, and you know you came from that kind of situation and that kind of setting, like I think he should be doing more for the city, you know, just for the boxing city in general. But that's just my own opinion. Just because I remember what the man was before what the man became. You know what I'm saying? And I just know if I had became that and I know like there's nothing this city boxing wise wouldn't need or wouldn't and you know I would be doing. He's a fucking billionaire, bro. Like it's not even remotely close. Like no kid should miss a boxing tournament here. Nobody should. Anybody that he knows personally, like I just think my way of doing things would be different than his way. And I love Dana. I got a lot of respect for the man. I just think, our ways of doing things are different. Maybe because I'm local and I grew up here, but I just remember what the guy was, and he was like a low bit trainer trying to make ends meet, and to see what he is now, I just think he should be doing more for the city, especially the city that made him a billionaire.
One of
So
the
you seen
things.
him back when he was carrying bags?
What,
I seen him back when he was in the gym like a 2-bit trainer, and you wouldn't even know who the fuck he was, bro.
so hold on,
Did he
hold on.
have hair?
So one
Floyd
of the
said he was
things,
carrying bags.
one of the things I would have to ask
But I
then.
was gonna go
Go
ahead.
ahead. I was
But
gonna say,
one of the things I was
he,
gonna ask you, man, because I forgot to ask you this, man, because I always like to pick with you about this. When you got that belt, man, what made you cry, man? Was it the fact that you have finally did it?
don't
It
answer
was,
the question. Don't answer the question.
no,
That's a setup question right there. That's
nah,
a setup.
man. No, it was a combination. It was a combination of everything. Combination of overcoming suicide, combination of waiting 13 years, combination of people telling me I was never going to achieve shit, I wasn't going to be shit. It's a combination of the haters. But when you go through something like suicide, man, and you almost kill yourself, and to be sitting there with my youngest son in the ring and feeling like I did enough, I felt like I had did enough. Like, I'm in this man's backyard and I'm like, fuck, man, do I got it? And everybody telling me I got it. And I'm just like, nah, man, because I've had a couple bad decisions. I remember fighting Danny Jacobs, and I thought he won, and I thought it was maybe a 3-point, 4-point fight, but one judge gave him every round. I didn't even win a round. Like, why did that judge? And I remember I had been on the B side a few times leading up to that fight, before I got the K9 fight, and everything was set up for him to win. It wasn't set up for me to win. It was set up. I'm in his backyard. I'm on the road. Everything is everything is set up for him to win. Nothing is, set up for me to win. So I've been in that situation, and I've been at the highs and lows of the sport. Had already went through a divorce in my life. I had already went through custody with my ex-wife. So I was just like, it's just everything. And I'm just like, man, did I do enough to win? That's all I'm thinking. Did I finally put enough together to win? Do these judges, are they gonna fucking get it right? And I'm just sitting there, and then when they said it, man, it was just like I said, 13 years of hard work, of anger, depression, suicide, all of that just came out, man. And I was finally happy, bro. And then to be the first to ever do it, it's just crazy, man. It, like I said, and I think the guy, they said that somebody said something not too long. They said the most accomplished fighter from Vegas, Ishe Smith, because my paper ran a story on me, and fucking hater motherfucker Ellie Setback said, no, that's
Shout out to, hey, we call that brother knee pass around here. That's what we call him.
yeah, fucking cocksucker.
Knee pad. We call him knee pad. I
Yeah,
say that respect.
he said that would be Rolly. You got it wrong. And I'm like, bro, Rolly's still fighting. You know what I'm saying? This is my day. Let Rolly have his career. You know what I'm saying? Let Rolly do his thing. I got no problems with Rolly.
Rolly from
But
Vegas?
yeah,
Outside of
I
him
didn't know
not being
that.
able to, the man can't box to save it. Well, he done
yeah,
got better. He done got
yeah.
better.
Two
He done
division
But
got
champ,
much
baby
better.
boy.
I
Under
got
hold on under under what's my brother name, man? The trainer. Hey,
Coach Silas.
under Silas, he
I
done
got
got
no
better. But
I got no problem with Rolly.
no, Rolly can't fight.
It ain't a dick grabbing contest. Who's better? Who dick
You
is
mean pick a
bigger?
bullet, man. We
Who
gotta say pick a bullet, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
who's this, who's that, bro. I'm happy that the kid is doing his thing, but I was the first. I will always be the first. I'm the first to, no matter what you do after me, I was the first to tap this city ass, and she will always remember me first, dog.
On that
That's
note,
it.
man, I just want to say, man, I appreciate you, man. I love everything you've done. And like I said, you one of my favorite people. I love seeing you get on there with Thomas and my African brother Sop. You know, Dominicans think they're not black. You know, I keep trying to tell
Yeah, I
Shaka, you
thought
black.
Thomas May should come on tonight and leave a comment, but he might be still stuck at the train, man. He might be at the train yard, man.
Knowing him, he probably holding up a store, man. You know how the Puerto Ricans, they hold
Yeah,
up
that
stores, man.
motherfucker stuck at the train. You know, he don't let him know I got a couple dollars for his internet bill, man. He be putting quarters in the shit when he on the phone when we on
Security. Hold
there.
on. Security. Where's security at, man? We need security around here. We need security for this nigga. Nah. Shout out to the great.
Hey, but I appreciate you telling your story, man. And I'm gonna have you back if I can, man. Because you know they say you don't mess with blacks, but you prove that to be wrong right now, man. So I appreciate you, champ. Shout out to
No
my
problem,
man.
man. Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, we appreciate your time and energy, brother. We appreciate it.
All right, man. You guys have a good one, man.
You too. Appreciate you, champ.
Yes, sir.
I ain't gonna lie. Look like the champ about to fall asleep on the phone. Shout out to the champ, man.
He got tired of interviewing Dub. Dub would give a statement, then a question.
Hey, what y'all want me to do? Hey,
Dub would be like, champ, I got a question. So let me tell you how Devin Haney go win this fight.
We working on it. I was listening to Dub. Like, what the hell is Dub doing?
That's what I do, man. That's what. Look. Hey, coach. Hey, Coach Hackey, you in the building?
Yeah, I'm still here, man. Y'all have me laughing.
When we interviewed you, I asked my question the same way. I'm gonna tell you what I think, and then I'm gonna ask you the question. It is what it is.
I ain't got no problem. I don't got no problem with you do, man. I'd rather somebody ask too many questions in front of whoever they with, as opposed to saying, damn, I should have asked them. If I got Steve Young in front of me, I'm gonna ask Steve Young all the questions I can ever imagine, because I might not have Steve Young again.
Absolutely. I want all the information, respectfully. I want all the information.
I'm just glad Ishe was here to tell y'all when you mentioned that joint. He was like, I don't think Xander Zayas what y'all were saying. I don't think he's what y'all saying he is. I think he's a great fighter. Y'all heard me say that, but the champ said it, and everybody was silent as a Western movie.
What he say? I missed it.
No, I didn't have a chance to go in. You know, BVO, he trying to censor me now. He be like, man.
Coach, you was kicking the glass in, so don't tell me he censored you. You did the motherfucker for love over top of the rim with that thing. You just let it go.
Hey.
So what he say? I missed it.
So what he basically was saying that you know, Xander is nothing more than a top ranked special. Which
he said exactly what Coach said. Coach said
that's a fact.
Hold on, real quick. When we had Coach on, a couple weeks ago, Coach, he said the exact same thing. He said, man, the nigga he was built the right way. That's exactly what was said. So he co-signed everything. Thank you. We agree. He co-signed everything.
Let me say this though. I was a little shocked to hear my man Ishe go against Black Jesus, man. I was shocked about that. What about you guys?
Why we keep getting back to Black Jesus, as you call him? We could have said, hey man, what time is it in the Philippines? Well, you know, Black Jesus, man. Come on, man. Cut it out. Hey,
Yo,
this sounded like an old Jay-Z record. Jazzo song in stores. Like, come on.
Hey, hold on, Coach. If anybody over here outside of B3, I'm the biggest Devin Haney fan around, and I'm still picking Junior to win the fight. I'm picking Junior, but at the same time, I'm the biggest Devin Haney fan that any of y'all niggas know. Respectful, I say that respectfully.
Yeah, I
thought Bill kicked you out of the club personally. Bill kicked you out of the club.
Fuck Bill.
Bill excommunicated you from the congregation.
Bill told me we don't need fans like you, nigga. All right, cool. That's fine.
BVO, man, why you do me, man? You didn't highlight any of my comments. I just texted him. He texted me back. He was like, Xander just doesn't do it for him. He just hit me back now.
When Alex BVO covered it up real quick, what'd you think about hacking to him? When he jumped on Xander, he didn't let him say, I think, man, once again, I told y'all that if Jaleel was promoted by Bob Ehrman, top rank. Jalil would already be a champion, probably working on his second belt, but he definitely would have the WBO title.
But
Hey man,
let me say this, TD. Can
like we
you
always say,
stop lying like you was not crying?
whatever Bob ordered, that's the WBO. Whatever Bob ordered. So we agree with you. I ain't
Hey,
disagreeing. Whatever
TD,
Bob ordered.
I mean, Bob, you got to fight for it. I give you that, but Bob has a ingrained style that can make you feel like you're watching the second coming of Godzilla versus human beings. And BVO told me, "What you gonna do with Xander, who's bigger than Jaleel?" And then I said, "Can you go look at the tail of any tape? Jaleel's bigger than him now." Then he said, "Oh, but once
Yeah.
again, I told you that sheep, them sheep are mean motherfucker, man. That man corralled them sheep into the joint. I just want to be on the right side of the corral. I'm not trying to beat the corral."
Hold on, coach. I gotta ask.
Hold on,
my
before
brother
you ask
TD.
him that, let me bring TD in.
No,
So TD, what's
I'm
going
going
on,
to
man?
TD. I'm going to TD. I want to ask TD a question.
Yeah, go ahead, because I got something to say, man. BBO, man, disrespectful, man.
You know, BBO gonna be out of order anyway. We already
BBO
know that.
always out of order, but real quick, man, I just gotta say this, man, real quick. Yo, Bernard, man, why you always want your son to beat up all the fighters I like and I rock with, man? First you go and you beat up my boy Pistol Beat, right? You got to beat my boy Pistol Pete up. Now you want to beat up Xander. Why you want your son to beat up all the guys I rock with, man?
You want a Puerto Rican tour, man?
Look, man. I don't look here. I don't know that you like these guys until you tell me. But I will say this about that: they're the guys who are in the position that we want to be in. Me and Pete, man. If you ask Pete, me and Pete boys, me and Pete text each other all the time. I just texted him the other day, asking what happened to the fight. Me and Pete, I like Pete.
Nah,
Jaleel is the
Pete is
one
good
that has
peoples,
the
man.
problem.
Hold
Yeah,
on,
Pete,
hold
good
on,
people.
real.
Pete's
Hold
I'm
on,
from the Bronx.
TD.
You know I'm from the Bronx, right? That's my guy.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
gotta ask
Pete.
you this question, TD.
Go ahead.
Because the fight, and I say it respectfully, the one where Jaleel slipped, supposedly in I believe the shower and hurt his ankle, however that happened. You told me that the man was ducking, correct?
I didn't say the word ducking. I said that the injury just seems suspect, and that I know the camp and I know the manager of Roman, and he said that Jaleel was struggling to make the weight. And now Bernard, you're on here with me now. You know that's your
Now
son.
let me
And wait, let
let
me
me
let me
clear
finish.
this.
And I was reporting based on what my boy told me that he struggled to make the weight. He had video of Jaleel, struggling a little bit. He didn't look 100%. And look, and he went up to 154, and he said it
And let me
in a
say
number of interviews. The 147 was tough. I mean, I didn't lie about anything.
no, you didn't. You didn't lie.
Yeah,
Let me say this though.
yeah.
Let me say this. I want people to go back to the press conference that happened that day earlier. That day. It happened earlier. And Jaleel on purposely wore a tank top. He said, "I want y'all to see I'm good." He said right there, "I'm good. My weight is done." He said, "I got 3 to get off." That's what he said. Wore a tank top. He said, "I want people to see I'm good." Yes, the 47 was a struggle. He's a big kid. 47 was a
Hmm.
struggle. But in that particular night, he was good. He just had a fluke ass injury in the sauna. He was going back and forth between the sauna and treadmill. That's just how he do. I'm not going. Jalil not one of them guys that changes up how he does something because he's a guy that's built on a clock. When he fought for the WBC youth title, he weighed in at 142. The night before, he still did his regular shit. That's just how he is. So when that happened, it was good. But in the same token, let me say this. If you're cool with Roman's team, ask them when we healed. We told Eddie, if Roman wants to fight us and keep his belt, let's do 54. If they don't want 54, we'll come as low as 50.
Well, here's
Roman's
the thing.
team didn't want to do it.
Here's
He
the
would have
thing with
kept his
that.
belt.
Yeah, but here's the thing with that is that they trying to set Roman up. He's fighting an undefeated, I think a 15-0 guy with like 14 KOs in Philly. I think it's next week is the Philly fight or in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
so
gonna be a
he's
tough
fighting.
fight.
That's a
Hey,
tough guy.
let me.
Now, my guy Ricardo's a man. Ricardo's a cool dude. He's from the Bronx too. He manages a lot of the Puerto Rican fighters. He manages Jan Santana, who trains in Puerto Rico, but he's from DR. And he trains a personal friend of mine here in the Bronx as well. And Ricardo's always gonna sound like confident. And he said that, they're trying to do it to us again. This is his words, but we're gonna shock the world. Like, Roman is ready.
Man,
Roman, a lot of people don't know. Like that's why I respect like what you're doing with Jalil. Jalil's fought tough fights. Roman, nobody knows, was a decorated amateur as well.
yes, he
It's
was.
just
I
that
know that. We do
he
that.
just had gaps in his career where he couldn't get fights. So that was a good fight. Like Roman's no bum. As you saw as your son fought him.
Let,
So so
I'll say this
that's
about the
the word
first fight.
from my boy Ricardo. But
I'll say this: the first fight. The first fight, it was a hell of a struggle to make 47. Jesus, it was a hell of a struggle. The morning of the first weigh-in, Jalil was already like, "Oh God, we had to lose 7 pounds that morning after
wow.
trying to get weight off that night." He was like, "Dad, it ain't gonna budge." And I said, "Shoulder, we gotta do what we gotta do." And he was like, "I don't know if I'll make this shit." He made the weight. I said, "Shoulder, you make the weight. Let us get you back." If you watch that Roman fight the first time, and then you go back and watch it again, Jalil never took a backward step in that whole fight. Not one
No, he
time.
didn't.
Not one time. And that's why I keep telling people the shit I say. My son, if you had to compare him to something, you ain't comparing him to a gorilla, you're not comparing him to a shark, you're not comparing him to a bear. You gonna compare him to a multiple time grand champion pit bull stock. Because whether he on his belly, whether he got a broke leg or broke jaw, he's never gonna check.
Can I
Nobody
ask you a
has ever
question?
seen Jalil check.
Yeah. No,
Yeah, go ahead,
Jalil's
bro.
a strong kid. Let me tell you something before I ask you the question. I believe it was the second round against Pete. I, to this day, still don't know how Pete didn't get dropped. There was a right cross that he hit Pete right on the nose. And if you watch it, Pete like kind of like cringed. Like it was weird. Like he ate it up, but he refused to like go down. Like because he was hurt. I believe it was a second round. I was like, wow, how did Pete stand
Pete
up
a
for that?
veteran.
Yeah,
Pete a veteran. Bro,
that was.
Pete is a veteran.
Hmm.
I don't put people out there because that's not my thing. It's
Yeah,
never been my thing. You never heard us talk about sparring. You've never heard us say, "Oh, we fucked up this world champion," or "We fucked up this number one rated dude." We fucked around and did it. We let them say it. We don't say it. But the one thing I can tell you is that Pete is a dog
yeah.
veteran. He's a
No,
dog veteran. And nobody else will put their at the time Jalil was just turning, but Jalil was 20 because that was 2 years ago.
yeah.
Jalil, they won't. Nobody else will put their 20-year-old with eight with 8 professional fights in a 10-round fight with Pete Dobson. I bet they won't.
No, they
If you listen,
listen.
if you listen to what they say, Shorter
Yeah,
is the toughest move young prospect because Shorter refuses. Eddie Hearn said that was old mouth. We offer this nigga layups.
yeah.
He refuses them.
Oh, that's what's up. Pete's
Jalil,
the dog, man. And what the
Peter
people say
dog.
out here in the Bronx is that they say, Pete's done some shady business moves. I tell you that much. I'm not gonna get into it, but he's done some shady. But the one thing they say about Pete is that he's no bitch. That's the quote I get
No,
from a
he
lot of
not.
different people. Yeah.
Hey, bro, let
No,
me
he's
tell you
no
some
bitch.
real
No,
shit.
he's a dog, bro. I'm telling you.
When him
And
and
I'm
When him
multiple
and
people.
Jalil went at it, on social media, and it was starting to get out of hand. And Jalil said, "Bet your check, I fucked you up. Bet your check." And Pete was like, "Bet." I know Pete got a wife and kid. And I know he's a real dude. I had to step and say, "Neither one of y'all betting because y'all got bills, y'all got life, y'all ain't doing it. Y'all just gonna fight." But I made sure I said, "Pete, the kid is not rap tight. Jalil's not rap tight. Keep it in boxing. Keep it in boxing." When Jalil seen Pete and did that choke shit, that wasn't planned, that was real. And I told Jalil before, because I know my son, keep your hands to yourself. He was like, "You should have told him to watch his mouth." I said, "Jalil, keep it real." After that, that next day, Pete was walking through the hallways. Eddie Hearns was standing downstairs with Jaleel. Jaleel wait till this man walk by and say, Eddie, put security out by his room, make sure this nigga don't go home.
Put
And that
security
was so
right.
wild. And that was so wild. And that's the type of stuff Jaleel don't respect you because you grown. If you be respectful, like the little young boy we just fought, Vines was
Elijah, yeah.
respectful the whole way too. I actually got on Jaleel's ass. I said, Jaleel, y'all did an interview, and that man said it's gonna be a good fight. You was like, nigga, I'm gonna stop you, not because you're a bum, because I'm better. I said, you ain't have to say that shit. He said, I told him the truth. And Jaleel is so wild. He said, if he say something crazy at the weigh-in, I'm gonna slap him. I said, Jaleel, you slap him, I'm gonna treat you like you was 10 years old and beat your ass. He was like, man, the guy at the stage knows Jaleel. If you go back and watch, he said, Jaleel, keep your hands to yourself. Listen, bro, y'all don't understand why they don't fuck with Jaleel. When I say fuck with Jaleel, these fighters, because Jaleel ain't rap type, and these niggas know from the amateurs. I don't put it out there, but there's quite a few amateurs that say something slick, he slap shit out. And just stands in your face after he slap you and be like, do it. And them niggas just walk away. Niggas just walk away. You dealing with a throwback motherfucker. Why you think they keep giving us these veterans? I had to tell BBO, stop offering us veterans, but you're not requiring these other young motherfuckers to fight these vets. Man, what y'all should do if you want the Xander fight, you should go fight who was the nigga you told me, BBO?
Brandon
I forget
Adams.
you should fight Brandon Adams. I said, why? You ain't asking nobody else to fight Brandon Adams. They will bring us shit that they don't ask nobody else to do because the rest of them scared.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna say nobody's name. BBO brought somebody's name up to me in private conversations and on the show. When he brought that shit up to the public, them people said, please don't ever do that again. Shorty is really Baba Yaga to these young niggas. He the man you go get when you got the boogeyman. He's the one that kills your boogie.
Hey, Coach, you lucky we ain't on my show, because right now I would have dropped the damn, whatchamacallit, for the John Wick shit for him. If he Baba Yaga like that, hey, we gotta drop the link. Hey, we gotta drop the
BBO, in my line, when you having a conversation offset, just in personal life with niggas about Jaleel, they'll be like, we're not scared of Jaleel. Nigga, like, nigga,
Hey,
it's not
anybody?
around. What are you whispering for?
Hey, I gotta give him credit, but I thought Brother Bernard was blowing smoke. But anybody, I would say 23 and younger, they not talking crazy about Jaleel. That's a fact. That's not made up. I'm
You
talking to
can't.
some
You
dudes
can't. I
that you.
mean, and I mean, I've seen Jaleel, and I know the road he's gotten to where he's got. I mean, it just happens. It's just unfortunate that he's fought a few guys that I rock with. So what am I supposed to do? But
Oh,
I'm
no,
here
you
to tell
supposed
you,
to
like,
rock with him, bruh.
yeah,
You supposed to rock with your guys. Man,
I'm admitting, I know Jaleel
you know
is
how many of my
legit.
Philly guys didn't fuck with us during the whole camp? They were like, bro, we gotta keep. I said we gotta keep it a bean. We agreed we not talking. But after the fight, they was like, bro, we tried to tell this nigga this what the fuck gonna happen.
Hey, hold on, Coach. Let me ask this. I gotta ask this question. Now we interviewing your ass, respectfully. So who the best person? Well, I know you say you don't want to talk about sparring, those type of things. I understand it, so you ain't got to answer it. But who the best person you think y'all have sparred against that y'all just went in there and embarrassed?
Brian Norman said that. Brian Norman's dad said that Jaleel humbled his son.
Yeah, I'm
I
gonna
heard
leave it
that.
at Brian Norman. I'm gonna leave it at Brian
Unsolicited.
Norman. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna leave it at Brian Norman, and the reason I'm gonna leave it at Brian Norman because he came out that deep with it, and I respect him. And Jaleel and Brian Norman gonna fight. We fuck with each other. We really fuck with each other. We laugh all the time, man. But nobody gonna ever tell me Brian Norman is a sucker. Nobody ever gonna tell me Brian Norman is a beat. They ain't gonna tell me he a Kurt. They ain't gonna tell me none of that because they came 3 times. 3 times. And my son wasn't a pro yet. Brian Norman had about 16 fights. And Jaleel beat box springs off his ass all the time. His father said it. It's not me saying it. He said he humbled my son. He made us know that we got to go back to the board and do better. I respect that man, but I never would have said it. I got on him. I said, you don't have to say that. He said, I'm an honest dude. But we came back 3 times. It's a lot of dudes that's rated guys. I ain't talking about dudes unrated. That since the age of 15, they live and putting their foot in their ass. And if I said their names, it'd be fucked up. So I don't do that. I only
Yeah.
say people who said it. If they didn't say it, I won't say it because I respect the game. That's why you wonder why so many top level dudes bring Jalil in camp, because he was taught to respect the game. I'll never do that shit. I don't chase no accolades through spawn.
Mm-hmm.
You chase accolades through people seeing it for real. But the young dudes, they all know. They all know what he do to their ass.
Yeah.
He's knocked several of their ass the fuck out. He been in camp. And you can ask coaches like Coach Bosey. You can ask Calvin. You can ask Coach Silas. These are
He
coaches
swear
that
by
tell
it.
you,
He swear by
coming,
it.
been in camp. Coach, look, this one that ain't even a secret because the man had me laughing about it. We in Coach Silas gym in camp, and they had a spawn with the guy from Australia, Argentina that fought Jamal James. I can't think of his name. I gotta look on this box. I'll tell you. But remember, the fight got canceled because of an injury, and then they had to reschedule it. I'm gonna get his name. They eventually fought. Coach Silas had reached out to Leonard and said, "Hey, can you get your little come in? Fly him out here and we want to get some work, get a week worth of work." So the first day, Coach Silas was like, "Y'all get 6 rounds." Jalil do the 6. He's trying to box with the dude. Boom, boom, boom. We gonna box. Coach Silas asked me out here, pleasantry. And the dude was punching. Just after they finished, Jalil said, "Slow punching." I said, "Okay." Then they came back Wednesday and said, "Hey, we gonna do 8 rounds today." So they going through the 8 slim slamming shit. Boom, blah, boom, blah. And Jalil going, he giving them a little turn up. So they get to round 5. Jalil hits him with the body. Boom. They come with uppercut. Boom. Coach Silas say it's over. His team said, "No, we got one more." They do the one more, and Jalil's like, "Let me just finish it out." He learned how to spar. And the dude opened up on him, and his team say, "Oh, no, Jalil, let's get another one." Coach Silas, they don't do it. Jalil said, "Oh, they trying to play me now." He said, "I'm going to fuck him up." I said, "Don't do it." Jalil hit that motherfucker with a body shot, cracked his ribs. And Coach Silas looked at him and said, "I told y'all not to." Jalil said, "He tried to warn you." Like, Slim, I'm giving y'all real shit. If Xander fight us, I respect Xander. That's my guy. I love him as a young fighter. But he's never had to dog for anything. They've been giving him dry dog food or wet dog food. My son had to rip the fur off an animal to get to the meat. His whole career. I'm just telling you what how every commentator say thing. He been moved tough. He's had hard fights. We had to cut through the hide to get to the meat. If you think that these motherfuckers with milk teeth who had records that were put together for them can fuck with a motherfucker that had to start ripping shit apart from the womb, how does that make sense? Because like y'all going against your boxing principle. If it happened, which we hope it happened, we don't mind going to Puerto Rico. And I'm gonna tell you why. Roman was tough. He was a gritty older fighter who had a family to feed, and he thinking like that. Xander Zayas don't have no family to feed. He can say, "Man, I can come back another night. This just ain't my night." He could quit on the stool. I'm telling you, Jalil, you gonna knock him out, or he gonna quit on the stool.
And that's why I said that was, the last couple fights has been real tough fights. I mean, this guy was coming to win. This guy has, I think, he plasters. There's something construction wise. He has his own business. So, he had to keep, when he goes into camp to take these fights, like the one he's got in a couple weeks, he's got to put that on hold for a couple months for camp. So he's not making any money. He runs his own business. So, I
See the
mean, but
difference in man? See
yeah,
the difference in man, bro.
so
See,
that
he
guy's
just
coming to win.
explained the difference in man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
After
So,
I'm gonna tell you, after the Roman loss, they was in the
Mhm.
back. We met his family, we met his son. Jalil said, "Great fight." He was like, great fight. It was a great experience. Roman is a class act. I will never say anything, but he's a class act. Now, the niggas that was on his team, they hoes. Them niggas cold hoes.
They hoes.
They hoes. And I told them that. I told them that to their face. I told them that to their face. Because once again, I it's crazy how niggas do hoe shit. Because I said, Slim, you want to see the injury? I sent them the picture. That's why I started sending it to the guys who were doing podcasts asking us. I sent them the injury. We sent them the note that the doctor said he's dislocated his ankle. Nigga, that's not nothing you create. These doctors don't know us in Florida. We went to an emergency room, not a boxing doctor that's working with the promotion team. So them niggas hoes. They'll forever be hoes. But Jose Roman, he a good dude, and I'm so glad that we didn't get to fight him again, and I would never want to fight him in the future. The reason why, Jaleel don't forget shit. He ain't going that motherfucker with the intent of finishing this man. Not I'm just gonna beat him. Not I want to stop him. Jaleel said that asked him would they fight him at 54. Said Jaleel they don't want to fight at 54. He get to keep his belt. Ask him would they do it at 50. He said I can't make 47. Ask him to do it at 50. I said they don't want it. He said if they give me the fight at 54 or 50, I'm gonna kill him. I said,
That's
Jaleel,
probably
man,
that's
say
probably Ricardo.
nothing
Ricardo
bad
was
to you.
probably like my boy Ricardo was probably like the one that said no. He's the manager, so he
Yeah,
probably was like, yeah, no. But I think it's a difference because they don't have a promotion. So like it was they got a few dollars out of it because in a postponement and like that they don't make anything. You know what I'm saying? So I think they got a few a little bit of money and a promise that they would
yeah.
be on the zone card in the future. So I mean I
And
don't know
once
how
again, I
that works
always
more or less.
respect Roman.
Yeah.
I always respect Roman. I respect him. I can see him tomorrow. I shake his hand. If everything go the way we want, he's a trivia question in the future. And I don't have nothing against him. But I will always say the little fat fucker that was with him said, what happened? That motherfucker is a hoe. And the rest of their team that was with that fuck shit, they bitches.
Was that
And we'll say
was
that
that
to
the
him
coach?
on
Was
the
that the
face.
trainer? The trainer you talking
Hey,
about?
Tommy, stop
I
calling
don't know
people
which
out,
one.
man.
I don't know which one is. I don't know which one it is. I know one of them was a fat Spanish dude, and the other one was like a medium sized built dude, a little bit taller. But them hoes, because they did hoe shit, and we did nothing but respect them. Nothing but respect them. And like I said, I didn't hide it. I said, "Do you want me to send you the injury? I give you the picture. I don't give a fuck." Oh yeah. So okay, no problem. And if you go to the press conference, Jalil went in a tank top. He said, I'm gonna show these motherfuckers I specifically locked in to make weight this last time. If we'd have beat Roman, we was vacating that shit anyway and moving up to 54. But he said, I'm gonna fuck him up, man. And when he healed, he asked for that shit.
Hey,
And they was like, nah.
Coach, we gotta get Jalil on here, man. I gotta talk to him, man.
Man, we can get Jalil on here anytime. Like I said, Shorty one of the most misrap Mike Tyson minded people you will ever see.
How? How, but no,
Because
I don't know how.
he's direct with what he say. He keep it respectable if you keep it respectable. But when the shit go left, it goes left all the way for him. It don't drift left. It goes left. Once again, this not me saying it. What Hitchens tell you, BVO? Man, we had our little issue. That nigga was like, nigga, we straightening that shit out. Eric, get that nigga on the phone. I'm driving up that truck.
Yeah.
Like, youngin' don't play
Yeah, him and
disrespectful
Africa
shit.
really. Africa told me that Jalil showed up with his dad, mom, and a baby. That was it. And Africa had 100 niggas with him.
Hey, Slim, when they got in the gym, he got the dudes walking in with him. He stepped straight to Africa and said, get your shit on. Them niggas looking like they wanted to step up. Guess what? Africa brothers next to him. He ain't putting his hand up over them niggas. Jalil was like, what? What? I'm like, Jalil come to Spice and these niggas bet not.
And that
Like,
was a sparring
shorty not
session
fat.
that y'all had with Hitchens.
Yeah. Everybody,
Let me
man,
let me
Eric Kelly.
You want to hear a story about Hitchens? This is when I knew Hitchens. This is before he even won the world title. So one of my boys, like I said, in the Bronx, he's good friends with P2. He's a fighter. He fights at 160 now. He was recently at 154. He fought Brandon Adams. He fought Kalen Walsh, and he's a solid fighter. The Kalen Walsh fight, I thought he won legit because the referee he messed up in the fight. But anyway, he was supposed to spar with Hitchens, right? And Hitchens came in like 3 hours late with some girl, like he was, Apollo Creed, man. And they was pissed, man. And this is the things that Hitchens would do to certain fighters and stuff. Like he would just act like he was better than everybody else. So
Nah, man, Hitches. I'm gonna tell you something. I was at the title fight. That was the same night the Roman joint was. When it kind of seemed like in the first 3 rounds that the crowd was kind of giving him grief. I don't give a fuck if he not from DC. We from the mainland. I'm like, Hitches, do this, man. Hitches, he doing this. Watch this, blah blah blah. You gotta put a battery in his back. If he get that battery in his back, oh, that motherfucker is Godzilla. He need that battery in his back. But when it come to fighting, he gonna fight. You gotta think. He got a world title. That battery been in his back since he got the world title. That's the battery.
yeah,
Everybody got a different turn on point. Everybody got a different turn on point. Hitchens was that world title. Once he got that battery in his back.
Who you think better? You think Africa better, Hitchens, or you think Antoine better? Who better?
Man, it ain't even a question. Antoine
Antoine beat the shit out of him.
no way,
Man, Antoine a mop. Man, y'all
no
got to be
way.
crazy.
No
Let me say this.
Hitchens boxes his ears off, man.
No, let me
Man,
say
you're
this.
crazy,
Let
man. Antoine
let
beat
let me
we
say
can
this.
put-
Let me say this. Let me say
we can
this.
put money on it.
Hey, look, let me say this. If that come,
niggas
definitely
gonna
come.
take me, so I ain't
Definitely
saying-
call me when that come about the bread. You got to remember this. Antoine, Gary, Tonio, Allen, Big Gary, deceased. Them was like uncles. If you ever hear Jalil talk about if my grandfather made me do this in the gym, you talking about Gary Senior. Let me tell you when it come to that. If y'all think Jalil bad and they fear him, where the fuck you think he got it from? He been around him his whole life. Where you think he got it from? Him and his uncle got into it. Him and his uncle got into it. And his uncle told him, I didn't expect nothing less from you. You was raised here. Brother, do not misunderstand hunting versus surviving. Richardson is a good boxer. But when you say good boxer, that's a guy, and I hate to put it like this. Boxer this is still a sport. It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Hunter is I come to kill you. Two different situations. What started all the shit with them started from Spawn. And they got into it. It's just, hey Jalil, last time we sparred, man, you caught me when I was cutting weight. Jalil took that shit personal. I'm gonna get back in the ring. Then it got a little vicious, and it was cutting weight. Okay, fine, let's just get out. But then they had to bring it back. When you talk about fucking with Antoine, that's an animal of a whole different nature.
I got Antoine over everybody. I got him over
Antoine
everybody.
Gonna stalk his ass. Antoine is gonna stalk him down.
I think I'm not discrediting Antoine. When I pick Hitchens, it don't mean that I'm saying that Antoine can't fight.
No, I didn't take it like that.
Yeah.
He's a dog.
He's a dog.
He's a
I do believe that. And he's got a tough fight coming up too. The guy he's fighting is tough too. That's a tough fight.
He's a dog.
Yeah.
If Hitchens get lullabied into any type of round, I respect Hitchens not for winning the championship. I think it was the fight before the fight. It was either 1 or 2 fights before. The dude had Hitchens rock. Hitchens figured out how to get through the rest. I think like 2 rounds where I think he was not there. Yeah. Because he got caught. Man, if Antoine puts him in a not there state of mind, he's not gonna be able to go 6 minutes on blood, guts, and tears. He's gonna get nice.
I think the only problem with Antoine, I think he gotta slow down. If he slow down, The reason being is because he smothered his own work a
He
lot
all
of
over the
times.
place.
You
No,
can't.
I'll say this.
Hold on, hold
If you
on,
look
hold
at
on. Let
that,
me
if you
finish.
look at that last fight, he didn't smother his work, so they made corrections with that.
Agree. We agree on that. We
But we
agree
seen
100%.
Yeah,
Pullo
they
kick
made.
his ass. Come on, coach. Don't forget Pullo kicked his ass, and he was just
I
boxing.
once again,
Respectfully,
I
I didn't
don't,
think he.
I don't, I don't take nothing from that because they don't make excuses. But one thing I will say, I'm only going off the cloth.
I
Let
got
me tell you, BBO, I go with this. What was that family y'all was scared of in your neighborhood growing up?
I can't think of nobody
Ev-
offhand, but I get what you're saying.
everybody had a family in their neighborhood that their family had the reputation from the 6 boys, the 2 uncles, and the 3 fathers that came before them. They was
Yeah,
cut from a different cloth. That's
right.
why y'all was scared of them. None of y'all got in a fight with them, but the pedigree of where they come from made it where you knew your family was tough. It's a difference in I'm coming to fight you and I'll defend myself. That's what I'm
Yeah,
talking about. They
I got
coming to fight you. The Russells are coming to fight you. Everybody else is defending themselves.
you. I see what you're
Ain't
saying.
nobody, ain't nobody scared of a cat and a dog fight because the cat trying to scratch you just enough to see an exit. The dog trying to kill him.
So
T
who you
T
real
Hill, what's
quick?
going on, man? How you
Go
feeling,
ahead.
brother?
Oh man, I'm just sitting here enjoying the boxing talk. But respectfully, I thought that Puello fight could have been easily called a draw, or it could have went the other way as well too. It was a great fight. I just thought that he just didn't win the last couple of rounds, so it had a different look. But it was a highly contested fight, and I would love to see the rematch.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I think
would
that'd
too.
be a good one. That'd be a good
Cause
one.
it was the same way with Sergio Matias. And people don't notice that nigga don't speak no English. He looked at me and Tommy like we was ghosts. Am
Hey,
I
y'all
wrong?
crazy.
Tommy, am I wrong? The nigga don't speak
No, you're
no
not
English,
wrong.
man. I looked at
Hey,
the nigga.
Shout out Tommy for
So
showing
let
you
me
a good
ask you a
time
question.
out there in the NY city.
Yeah, it was good, Tom. Bernard, one quick question. So you guys still with Eddie? You still with Matchroom?
um, technically, yeah, we still
Okay.
work with them, but we can work with whoever we want. We lived our contract, but Eddie and them were very good to us. If they call us and offer us a fight, then we'll sit down and look at it. We have a team, and as a team, we make a decision. We
So
got to
you
make
guys
we
are,
make the decisions best for Jaleel.
and you guys are looking for the best fights. Obviously, you want Xander, but you basically want anybody in the top 10 at the very least, right?
If we had our picks, we would take Xander and a boss. Just like before a boss beat Jonas Telez, we wanted to fight Jonas Telez. I mean, and that was when Jonas Telez was just the intern. We
Hmm.
just we want good fights, but I'm gonna tell you the secret. I think a lot of veterans they made of a different type of gunmetal, but I will say all the young fighters we cakewalk them because they suckers. They scared of them all.
Yeah.
And I say that openly. I bet you won't get nobody to reply to you openly and say
No,
we not scared.
I think so too because the young ones they're looking, they're scared. Let's face let's be real. They're scared to lose, right? And they're trying to build themselves up to somehow maneuver themselves in the top 10 or top 15, whatever it is. So they want to get matched up well where they can look good and they can move up in the rankings without taking any real fights. That's the game. That's why Top Rank does so well
And
with
you're right.
this,
And
and they
you're
did with
right.
Xander. I love
My
Xander.
man.
I always
My
support my
man.
Puerto Rican fighters and my New York fighters.
Yeah,
That's just something I got to
man.
do. But I got to call it the way I see it. He's been matched pretty well. I mean,
No, let
So
me correct you on one thing. Let me correct you on one thing. When it comes to their boxing career, they don't want to lose the O. You're right.
yeah,
But when it comes to Jaleel, they fear him more than they fear losing the O. They fear him. BVO and me used to have this argument. BVO had to come to me and say, bro, you right. They fear Jaleel the man, not the record of his O or their O. They will lose the O to anybody else. They don't want to get fucked up by Jaleel.
That's a fact, man.
That's
I
just me
feel
being
you.
honest. I'm not being arrogant. That's just me being honest. Bro, they won't even take Spawn. These dudes won't even spar with Jaleel. You asking any of them dudes that you want to say, oh, he not this. Now, I'm not talking about your North Carolina dude that's trying to get anybody to spar. He 2-0, say I'll spar with you, not them. I'm talking about your real dudes. Your real dudes that y'all, the New York dudes kill me with this. I fuck with them though. Man, we put money behind our boy. When they say that, their boy tell them, don't do that with Jaleel. Jaleel will fuck them up. They already know it.
Yeah.
He done ran through these spots, bro. We used to go to New York. We used to go to New York back when the Lil Young and Shalal had all them scared of him. Shalal was just a boxing street Lil Young. He locked up now. But them niggas be, see, I'm telling you about dudes that the average person won't know. And Lil Shorty was like, man, I'm not fucking with Jaleel. You got to be crazy. We've been through them gyms, brother. We ain't just been to Boots Gym in Philly. As a kid, go ask them dudes on 7th Street Gym. 11 years old, I took Jaleel up there. They was like, man, we got some killers in here. Man, Jaleel left his tennis shoes in the middle of their motherfucking gym. He said, when I put my foot in your ass that bad, I leave my shoes. This him at 11. This real shit. That man, Sam Watson. We had the fights. This was years ago. Jaleel was like 16. And he said, hey, Danny, bring this kid in the camp with you. Danny said, I'm not fucking with him. He don't know how to spar. Don't get this shit fucked up. What I'm saying is not me bragging on him. I'm telling y'all the real reason why they don't say nothing. Xander, how many times did y'all hear Xander do back and forth with Ortiz? A bunch of times, right?
Yeah.
How many times y'all hear Xander put his word out there, I want to fight this guy, and they not saying they'll fight him? And he said it 2 or 3 times public. You ain't heard Xander say a word with all the shit, and we tag him in everything. Go try and tag him now. He can't be tagged. Once again, I'm telling you what they know, not what they think. What they know. I don't remember Xander boy name from the amateurs. Him and Jaleel fought. Jaleel had his man walking around the amateur tournament for the rest of the tournament with some big ass Boosie Collins glasses on because he broke his eyesight. Xander's man. Like, these niggas really know Jaleel. They know not to mention his name because it invokes the wrath of God. Not just in the ring, he'll see you. And Jaleel will smack shit out you. He'll see you in the hallway with no cameras around. He'll put you the type of nigga to push you in the bathroom. Say now what you say. And make you check in front of your friends. I've seen them do it. I just won't name these youngins, but they don't do what they do by accident. When they tell y'all stop saying my fucking name, they mean that shit. When they mothers and they fathers say that shit, because they done seen Jaleel show out like a grown man in the gym. Say fuck your son to your mother and be like, make him jump like you gonna smack him. That type of shit. That's why they scared of Jaleel.
Yeah.
Yeah, start asking some of these dudes that whisper the stories. Yeah, I remember when Shorty did this to a nigga. I remember when Shorty did this. And then he gets so physically big. Jaleel like lifting weights. He got football player friends. So in his off time, he like to lift weights. I'm not gonna stop a kid from lifting weights.
Yeah, that makes sense. Hey, Doug, you going live? Oh, I think Doug fell off the. Oh shoot! I think Doug fell off the thing.
Hey, coach. Hey, coach. I love your questions though, because you ask the questions that people really want to hear in a conversation. You don't ask politically correct questions. You ask the right questions. You ask the right.
Oh, he said he'd be right back. That's why we ain't see it. He said he'd be right back.
I love your questions, coach. You don't ask politically correct questions.
Hey, Dub ain't no coach, man. You out of order, man. Nah, Dub is cool. Dub is cool. Hey, BVO asked some good questions too.
Yeah, terrible.
Nah, BVO asked some good questions. He just be capping a lot, BVO.
Man, BVO be argumentative. BVO is argumentative.
Bernard,
He's not asking you questions.
When he go into cap mode, it's notorious CVO.
Here we go.
Yeah, he argumentative. He'll ask a question that he don't even believe in just to argue with you.
Hey, man.
That's what he do. So I don't really give him that. He'll text me early in the
Wait a
morning
minute,
with
man.
something crazy.
Y'all not gonna disrespect me. Look, I take a step away, and now I'm getting disrespect. I done fell down the damn stairs. I told y'all I'll be right back, nigga.
Nah, never, Doug.
Nah,
Not
cause I
me.
ain't gonna let
I
them do
never
that to you.
disrespect you, player.
Hey man, y'all out of order.
I ain't let
Get
them do
back. I
that
had
to
to
you.
I
get
was
right back.
talking about BBO. I wasn't
But
talking about you.
hey coach. The reason I asked the question I asked because I don't give. Shit, we gonna keep it real around here. That's what it's about. Keeping it a buck.
That's why I love your questions. Your questions be real shit. You gonna
Well,
say what you
I
really
got
feel. I
one
love that.
last one. I got one last
So
one
you
before
saying
my.
BBO don't ask real questions? What y'all
No,
talking
I
about?
said
You ask argumentative questions. You don't even be believing the answer to that shit.
That boy asked them argumentative or them glaze up questions.
Yeah.
Oh, now glaze up, well, okay.
I
No, you
got one
think
last thing. So
you think
what we
about
Yeah,
got to
what you
do.
got?
This is what we got to do, guys. Because I mean, I don't know what BVO tell you. I go to the fights. If they're in the tri-state area, I'll be at the fights. So we got to get Jaleel either in Newark, in New York, Connecticut, something. So this way we could I could go to the fights. I could be there, and I can meet up with you and Jaleel because I be there. You know, I'll be with the credentials and all that. So that's what we got to do. That's the next move. We got to get you. If you can't get to Puerto Rico, then we got to get you over here in the tri-state area, son, so we could see you. If
Man,
not, I'm gonna have
I
to get D
definitely do it.
free. I gotta have to get D free to go see you in DC if you go fight in DC or even in Philly. I gotta force them to go out there because BVO ain't going. And Dub, Coach Dub,
Can
who's not
hold
even
somebody
on,
coach
hold
now.
hold on? Can somebody come to Georgia? Can anybody come to
on.
Georgia?
Somebody,
Please,
Hey, where you at?
hold on.
Hold on. Hey, coach, where you at in Georgia?
man. I'm in Warner Robins, but if you in the A, I'm gonna be there.
Oh, I'll let you know. I go there. I got a lot of family, and my godson live in Columbus, Georgia. So
Okay,
I
hey,
go down there. I go
I
down
got
there
family
pretty
in
much.
Columbus. I
Yeah,
got family in
we'll
Columbus.
make all that happen. Look, bro. I be a lot of places. My son go a lot of places. We think about going to Danny's last fight because I think that's gonna be the last fight for the Barclays Center. I
Oh, I'll
think
be
that's gonna
there.
be big.
I already got
We,
tickets for the fight, and I'm gonna probably get credentials. So if you there, let me know because our guy Keith Cologne is gonna fight in the undercard. So that I
oh, that's
rock
my
with him.
guy. I fuck with Keith. That's my man.
Yeah, that's my guy, man. I'm always at. I've been to like most of his fights already, and his father's cool peoples. So I roll with him. So I'll be there. So if you're gonna be in the
Look what Keith
Barclays,
gave me.
I'm
Look
already
what Keith
there.
gave me, Bernard. This is what Keith gave me.
I am the future of boxing, Keith Cologne, and I'm rocking with BBO Sports TV.
Oh, okay, yeah, but I thought he was gonna come with the craziness.
Hey,
I
coach,
mean,
Doing.
hold on, coach. We still wondering. It looked like the man was being held hostage at that time. Respectfully, we still
hey,
wondering. We don't know what's
Biggie
going on.
had him in
I
a.
am the future of boxing, Keith Cologne, and I'm rocking with BBO Sports TV.
Hey, man,
Well,
hey, I'm gonna tell you. Hey, I'm gonna tell you something though. I gotta give BBO his props, my man. Had us on there to get that shit out first, but I want to give real props to the people, the boxing fans of Puerto Rico. I swear for God, I don't got nobody on the inside telling me nothing. I'm a regular coach, dad, outside guy, but I had a notion. And when we was on the show with BVO, and I told them they gonna try and bring up a 147, get him ranked real quick, and feed that to Xander and make these people think he's a monster. And then I said it's gonna be a fighter like Santilli.
And that's who they
A
got.
day, a day and a half later, they tried to leak that shit out that Santillan and Xander. I love the Puerto Rican people because they said, "Are you motherfucking crazy? You got you got a live young bull that's willing to fight a live young bull, and y'all gonna give us a motherfucker that the last time we really saw him, he was getting knocked out, and Brian Norman was taking a squat down picture like they was at a DC Go-Go in '86.
Yep.
Man, cut that shit out. Cut that shit out. And they were in such an uproar that they hurry up and nix that shit. And I don't know if Xander was so mad that they tried that he switched his team. But then the next day you hear that he was Bad Bunny, and then the next day you hear he trying to fight a boss who just got the WBA. Jaleel went on there and said, "Hey, respect to you, Xander. Now you hunting. If y'all get that fight, I'm basically laying my hands off you for that fight." But then we find out a boxer, his team ain't fools.
They want
They
7
wasn't going.
million.
Yes, hey, for them to go to Puerto Rico, they said, man, you better give us our money because all you want us to do is put some butter and some jelly on a bagel and feed it to y'all. We're not feeding you the belt. So that's how we
Yeah.
found out that's how we got found out through the grapevine that we on the short list of a potential fight because they've run out of capable people because the Puerto Rican people said you're not gonna feed us bullshit when y'all got a live young bull that'll fight. And the worst thing that can happen is Xander does a homecoming in Puerto Rico and it doesn't sell because the quality of opponent is garbage. Him being fuck losing, him having a bad ticket sale takes him completely out of the running to be a Puerto Rican superstar.
Yep.
Yeah.
Takes him completely out of the running.
That's what I was telling Rodamez. That's what we saw Tommy from the Bronx. His name is Rodamez. That's what we tell Rodamez all the time. You gotta fight somebody, man.
But
No, I agree
that's why we need the
1,000%.
fight, though. That's why we need that fight.
Yeah,
You know what
well,
I'm saying? Hey, get the smoke, bro.
I don't make the fights, bro.
No, I'm not
Hey,
saying you. I'm not saying you.
Puerto Rican media been covering that shit. I respect. Shout out to any of the Puerto Rican podcasters that reach out to me, and we just haven't been able to find the time. If y'all reach out to me, don't not Jaleel DM because he's crazy. He don't hardly nothing. Bernard Hackett on Instagram. Reach out to me on the DM or reach out to BVO. He can put us in contact because y'all prove my point. The Puerto Rican and the Mexican fans are the last great fans of boxing. Everybody else likes superstars.
Wait a
They
minute.
know
Hold on,
you
hold
when
on.
you're not
Hold on.
nobody.
I'm black, and I'm a big fan of boxing. What you mean?
Nah, listen to what I'm saying. And you look at the collective pieces of
Okay, the
boxing,
collective.
not individuals.
You talking
When
about the
it comes
collective?
to the Puerto Rican people and the Mexican people, they know you. They really do know of you with 3 fights. The American public, especially the American black public, they don't know you till you become a superstar.
Yeah.
That's just real shit. That's not me shitting on them. I love my city. My city follows us. I love Houston, Texas, because that's our second biggest pot of fans.
Mm-hmm.
But let Jalil become a superstar, then he gets $1 million from here. But at the end of the day, he got, I think, 300,000 fans. If you look at his fan base, it's our city, Houston, and then the Mexican fan base. And then when we fought in Puerto Rico, we might have lost the fight, but we gained a hell of a fan base. That's why Shorty said, I go back to Puerto Rico. He said, because I think they wouldn't let him screw me. If I beat this motherfucker, Jalil thinks he can beat him both ways, knockout or decision. I say, nigga, you crazy. He said, Dad, they respect me as a fighter. I'm willing to come back somewhere where they know I got stuck up. I respect it. Thank you, Puerto Rican fans. Because if they could have pulled the wool over their eyes and gave them Santillan, man, they would have pulled the whole sheep over their ass.
Yep.
Hey, and Tommy, you just want to know, man, why you keep lying, telling people that you wasn't crying, man, when that Puerto Rican won?
Yeah, you are out of
You out of
pocket.
order, man.
This guy's out of pocket, man.
This man, hold on, man. And I'm not here to defend nobody, but you gotta stop, man. This is my brother right
This
here.
guy's
Hold
out of
on.
pocket,
Even
bro.
even
You
B.
wasn't
Norman
crying?
Senior shouted you out. I came. Then you get a drop.
Am I crying in this picture?
Where are the tears at?
Hold on.
He said every time you crying in the picture.
Because
I
BBO,
don't see his eyes. They red.
Bernard,
They red as
Bernard,
the devil's
let me tell you
ass.
something, man. Bernard, man, I know some people out here. Obviously, I'm from the Bronx, New York. I took this guy and his wife out to dinner. Ungrateful SOB. I took him to the fight. His wife to the
Hold on. He ain't tell you what he took me to dinner, Bernard.
wait, let me finish. He got to meet his hero, Abdullah Mason. And this is the thanks I get. He telling everybody I cried when I saw
Man,
Xander
that ain't
Zayas. That's
Hold on.
that
messed
ain't
up.
his.
Let me
That
let me
ain't
tell you. Let me tell you what
Abdullah
really
Mason
happened.
is not his hero.
Let me tell you what really happened. So Tommy took pictures with my favorite fighter, Emiliano Vargas. Didn't introduce me or nothing. He took pictures. He up there combing Emiliano's hair and all that, getting dust off his suit and shit. Then he take me out to eat, Bernard. We go to a place. They got a whole fucking Mexican concert going on. The bitch sing for like 3 hours. Soap opera music. We get our food. Tommy scarf it down. Then a mouse, after we get done eating, a mouse comes sit by me and get his plate, throw a napkin on his chest, and start eating. And then when we
Hey,
left,
man, them the best restaurants.
That's what I'm saying.
Then when we left, Bernard, he tried to have me and my wife get in the car with a 7-foot Haitian nigga. Didn't even have no sign talking about he Uber.
You talking
That's
about
the gypsy cabs. That's the gypsy cabs.
He didn't want to go in the gypsy cab, so me and my wife took the gypsy cab home.
They look like
you know,
Jeepers
I mean,
Creepers,
you
man. Y'all ever
come to
seen
the
Jeepers
Bronx, you
Creepers?
come to the hood, you know, and I treat you well. You know, you had good food. The food wasn't good.
No, the food was good.
That's what I'm saying. So hey,
That's why the mouse was there. The food was good. He
Hey,
regulated
man.
the place.
Hey, look here. When I go to New York, no joke. Every time I go to New York, I tell my wife, no matter where I go, I'm gonna get that New York street meat. That should be good. I'm sorry. With the rice and the salad and the lamb chicken, man. I'm sorry. I'm gonna
That
get
ain't
this street.
chicken, brother Bernard. That ain't chicken.
Hey, look here. Well,
I'm still trying to get a damn
that's
black cheese.
some of the greatest rat that I've ever had.
you talking about the halal food?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, yeah.
Man,
Let me tell you something. Later, I used to play a lot of poker, and I used to run a poker game. But let me tell you something. At 1 o'clock, 2 in the morning, that is the best food you can eat right there. That halal food on the truck. Yeah,
bro.
man.
When I go to New York, hey Slim, I gotta get it. I'm not gonna pass it up. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna pass it up. All that shit to be talking about. You eat that, man. I come for it. What are you talking about? That street meat be good. That New York street meat be good, man. That New York street meat be good.
Yeah, hey, BVO don't know what he missing, man. I try to tell him. I try to help him out. I try to, he came to
Man.
my city for a day, and I treated him good, man. He don't
BVO,
understand.
BVO in Cleveland, man. After LeBron left, every restaurant shut down. They only got they got that one Church's Fried Chicken. They got the one mom and pop joint, and they got that McDonald's. They got that one McDonald's. Hey, after when LeBron came, that was one of the most thriving metropolises that we have in the country. They opened Italian restaurants. It ain't but 3 Italian people, but they opened an Italian restaurant. Man, when LeBron left, the motherfucking restaurant shut down. Y'all thought the plague happened in like 2014. The plague happened when motherfucking LeBron left.
You out of order.
That's all I can say, man. You out of order, man.
Hey, man, the plague. Get your kid in any school you wanted. There was always a seat available. You can get a dinner reservation at the one restaurant that was still open with 6 tables. You could go to McDonald's and they didn't even have a little thing you had to punch your order in. You just go.
This is a sick Negro.
Hey man, look here, bro. The only thing that was open in Cleveland after LeBron James left was the mosque and the liquor store.
The mosque and the liquor store. Hold on, let me tell you about Cleveland, man. You talking crazy.
I used to live in Cleveland for 10 years.
Really?
Yeah, Shaker Heights and stuff.
Okay.
Down there. I was always down the city with beautiful people.
Yeah.
Yeah, even Mike love Cleveland, man.
Man, hey, look, that joint was so empty. Mike Tyson left his house to be a museum. That it was so empty. He left that joint to be a museum.
They definitely let what they did turn one of his old houses into a church, man. So shout out to Mike Tyson.
Man, they was praying for the return. Hey, when LeBron James came back, man, them people was playing Al Green in that joint. The religious version. He's coming back like you said he would. That motherfucker won the ring, and Savannah said, "Can we get the fuck out of here now?"
Bernard hit him with that love and happiness, huh?
Did they? Man, look, when they won the ring, and he said, "Cleveland, this was for you." Savannah was already on her way to the airport. They met at the airport and went straight to LA. And they ain't been back since.
You come. Hey.
His I Have a Dream school.
In the
that became the new public. That became the new public school system. The rest of them just shut down. And what about other people?
Hey, you ever seen that movie with Joe Clark? That's what LeBron student turned to East Side
Lean
High,
on
man.
me.
Yeah.
When he left, LeBron left. LeBron took all the hope out of Cleveland when he left. The first time he took the passion. The second time he took the hope.
Yeah.
No bullshit. That man left and took the hope. I don't even think it's nobody with the last name James, even if they're not related to him, left in Cleveland. If your last name is James, he moved you out of there just in case you could be a distant cousin. I don't want none of my family tree don't even belong here no more.
Hey man, shout out to Brian, man, because you know his little cousin driving that Hummer around, man. So shout out to Brian. One thing about Brian, he's not spending no money, man. He's not spending no money.
But do they ever? That's what we were talking about earlier. Do they ever do it? Like, bro, you know how many dudes I know in the NBA, the NFL, all that type of shit, and they peoples really was behind them. When them niggas got to the league, shit, they told their mama on draft night, had the boxes packed, because if we get drafted, y'all gotta go in the middle of the night like the Indianapolis Colts. Y'all gotta leave. Y'all gotta leave, because I'm not coming back. Man, look, auntie used to give y'all sugar. Your uncle used to give you little $5 to take to school so you can get some snacks after school. Your cousin let you use his car to go out with the girl because you ain't had no ride. But the minute you made it to the league, people ain't seeing your ass no more.
Hey,
what the little boy said, OJ ain't been black since he wasn't having trophy.
Jesus.
Hey, you know how it is when you from the projects, man. It's like the hood within the hood. But on that note, man, I gotta get up for soccer, man. So I gotta watch my daughter play soccer. They got one little kid that's good. I be feeling bad for that little nigga, man. He the only one that can play.
Hey, why you feeling bad for him? His family know how you get to college. The rest of these niggas some shit. You're the only good motherfucker.
Yo, I really hope you make it out to Brooklyn to the fight, man. We're gonna, I already know we're gonna have fun, man.
Man, I'm really coming out there.
Talk to all his Puerto Rican friends. When I came out there, he ain't talked to me until we got out the fight.
Yo, this guy.
Hey, man, calling talking about what they tell you about Randall's nose. Something, you know, you got the Puerto Ricans talking crazy, man. So
they were Dominicans. Stop it. That was those
they
Dominicans.
Puerto Rican, man. They had rice in their hand. He had a rice bowl in his hand
because he fought Rohan Polanco. Stop it.
No, he had a rice bowl in his hand. He had a rice bowl. And man, you know what, Tommy?
That man terrible.
Hey, you know, Tommy asked me, my wife, you guys want a couple of grape sodas? I was like, no, we don't want no grape sodas.
Wow. This is crazy.
This is what we really do.
Crazy.
This is what we're doing now?
But check this out. All jokes aside, check this out. So we walking down the street, Bernard. Tell me why my wife, Tommy's wife, and Tommy walking away from it's 3 Spanish niggas walking away from the black man. Was that not true?
Man, they ain't gotta walk. They ain't gotta walk with you, man. They know your history, man. They know your history, man. Hey, coach, tell him I was the one that had to tell him. Teofimo ain't never gave you no time on the air or no motherfucking money in the app, but you was fighting me against him.
Right. I had to switch. I had to get it right. But that's what we hear, man. Steel sharpen steel, man.
But anyway, so it is what it is. You're gonna be out of order, which is okay. That's why we love you, because you're out of order. Respect.
Oh no, he gonna be himself. That's my guy, man. I'm definitely trying to get up there. But make sure you tell the people on the island, especially in them podcasters, if you hitting Jaleel, you're not gonna get through because he don't pay no attention. Just hit me on mine. We love the Puerto Rican people, and they show me how much they love the sport of boxing. They not gonna support us if we come there, but at least they supported the concept of they want the best fight.
Hey, Coach, when you come to Columbus, man, hit me up, man, so I can pull up on you.
Nah, bet we get together, man. I come down Columbus all the time.
You go to Columbus, man. Make sure you got $40 on, man.
I got $40.
I'm good.
All right.
That's if I go to Columbus, Ohio.
Hey, on that note, we out of here, y'all.
Peace out, man.